Michelob, so exceptionally smooth, the night belongs to Michelob. By United Airlines, you're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
17 years ago, the Jets were the reigning Super Bowl champions with Joe Willie Namath. Throwing to Don Maynard, the team won 6 games in a row in that '69 season. It was a Jet record until a week ago when their phenomenal young quarterback Ken O'Brien directed the Jets to their 7th consecutive win of this season, hitting another great one, Al Toon, at the Kingdome in Seattle. And now the Jets move into Atlanta. Good afternoon, everyone. On an overcast November day in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Don Criqui, and the question is, can the New York Jets sustain their football excellence? That 38-7 win over the Seahawks last Sunday was one of the great efforts in Jet history. And right now, Dan Henning, the coach of Atlanta, says without question, the Jets are playing the best football in the NFL. Bob Trumpy, a concern of the Jet coaches, though, is all the talk that's starting up about Super Bowl 21.
Don, I think it's a legitimate concern. I think Joe Walton would like to have his players deaf and also illiterate over the next several weeks. They're going to be complimented a lot. Read a lot of articles that project them into a Super Bowl in Pasadena. But I got to tell you, in the last 4 weeks, the New York Jets have been awesome. Offensively, defensively, special teams, the best they've played in years.
Falcons got off to a 4-0 start, but have won just 1 of their last 5 games. But playing them is the football equivalent of a street fight. This is a tough outfit. Win or lose, they make you pay.
A lot of people call it the sledgehammer offense here. Gerald Riggs right, Gerald Riggs left. But the schedule maker didn't do the Atlanta Falcons much of a favor this year. The Jets are the 5th of 8 straight playoff teams from 1985 that the Falcons must play. This is not a team that you can just roll over. They make you pay in athletes and in yards. Come tough every time you play the Falcons.
There is the head man of the Atlanta Falcons, New York-born Dan Henning, now in his 4th season. He was an all-city quarterback in New York and was a former offensive coach with the Jets for 2 years. His counterpart Joe Walton having a big year with the Jets after those 2 7-9 seasons, 11-5 a year ago, and now an 8-1 start. Jets will receive. Ready to kick it off is Rick Donnelly, and back deep for the Jets are Townsend and Humphrey. Bobby Humphrey at the 2. It's open. He might go, and Bobby Humphrey is out across the 45-yard line and out to the 46. So the Jets, with the opening kickoff, take it back 45 yards and go out on offense with excellent field position.
Don, how many times have we talked about special teams establishing momentum or the emotion of the day? You see the New York Jets continuing where they left off in the last 4 weeks, just coming out on fire. Big return. Longest kickoff return of the year for the Jets, and the superlatives just keep on going for this New York team.
Now they go on offense, 1st and 10 with the highest rated passer in the NFL, Ken O'Brien, handing off. And Freeman McNeil takes it out to the 49-yard line. He got 4. Offensively, the Jets have had people injured, but they've been tough right along. McNeil in, back from that 3-week layoff with a troubled elbow, and Tony Page is blocking back. Al Toon, the best receiver in the NFL this season. Guy Bingham still in for Pro Bowler Joe Fields at center. Gordon King's been doing a big job for McElroy at right tackle. O'Brien now sets his team with 2nd down and 6. Looks at Toon, and that's his 59th catch. For the Falcons, we talked about that defense that makes you pay. Puts the big stick on. Scott Case, a cornerback, got him. Falcons defensively have Tony Casillas, the college defensive lineman of the year a season ago at Oklahoma. Rick Bryan is their best pass rusher. Linebackers, big hitters. Curry and Raid, a couple of blasters inside. Wilkes and Williams, 2 former Eagles. Secondary shaky. Crudup will be tested today. He's only 5'8". Al Toon is 6'4". Brett Clark is a hitter from Nebraska, the free safety. He's had a turnover in each of the last 4 games. This defense is very good. They really hammered the Patriots last week, although it was a losing effort for Atlanta.
As you said in the opening, there's a problem with the clock. The officials do keep the time on the field, and they're trying to establish the clock is just a bunch of lights, no numbers whatsoever. There's 13:49, but the 30-second clock on this end of the stadium, the right end of the stadium, is not functioning. So that's going to be tough for the Atlanta quarterback to read how much time he has left.
Real tough.
You were mentioning about The Falcons playing the New England Patriots there. We finally got it on now. Playing the Patriots last week. Patriots have a lot of injuries, and it's because of the physicalness of this Atlanta Falcons football team. They don't give up a lot of big plays. They don't get them offensively. They don't give them up defensively.
Now O'Brien, up to that phenomenal start, 17 touchdown throws, just 6 interceptions, ready with his first pass. He gets time and tries to get it down to the 40-yard line where he needed to go for the first down, but the ball is split from the receiver. Rocky Cleaver had his hands on it. So the Falcons hold on 3rd and short, and they'll get the ball for the first time.
This Falcon defense is now coordinated by Marion Campbell. Came along with his defensive staff out of Philadelphia and has changed the personality of this Atlanta Falcons defense.
Dave Jennings having an excellent season in his 13th year in the NFL. You see 14 of his punts, his last 14 have not been returned. He's also great at getting the ball down inside the opponent's 20. He's done that 17 times to lead the NFL. Joey Jones from Alabama is back deep now for the Falcons. And again, Jennings hits it down inside the 20, this time inside the 10. So the Falcons' first possession of this game will start deep in their own end. 36-yard punt, but it was perfect. And now Archer comes out to quarterback Atlanta. David Archer had a great start, but he's been slumping of late. Gerald Riggs, a big, tough running back. He'll get the ball a lot in what is primarily a one-back offense. Floyd Dixon, a rookie receiver, can get deep. Freilich, the right guard on offense, is actually dominating everybody he plays. Out of Pittsburgh, he won every lineman award there 2 years ago.
And this is the matchup. The #1 rushing offense in the NFL, Atlanta, versus the #1 rushing defense in the NFL, the New York Jets.
Most any one back has gotten against the Jets this season is 63 yards running. That was Craig James of New England. Riggs going wide, and the Jets get him for a loss on the play. Back at the 4-yard line. Marty Lyons, who's having a big year, was through.
And the Jets started with a 4-man front. We will list a 3-man front as the starting lineman for the Jets. But with the Atlanta Falcons running the ball as much as they do, Bud Carson, defensive coordinator of the Jets, puts an extra defensive lineman in there. It looks like, see if we can pick it up here. I think it's Barry Bennett. He starts at the defensive tackle spot.
Baldwin is also in the game now, as a loss on the play makes it 2nd down and 14 for Atlanta. Archer, an out pattern to Charlie Brown, and he gets the ball at the 17-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. It's going to be close to a first down. Jerry Holmes was covering. Here's how it looked coming right at you on the replay.
First you see 73 Joe Klecko, and that offset nose tackle should be a problem for the Falcons all day long, but Archer's not had a good month of October. November starts. Last week he had an excellent day against the New England Patriots. That's a nice 11-yard pickup, and anything they can do for this kid to kind of improve his confidence certainly going to help the Atlanta Falcons.
3rd down and 3 now for Atlanta. No score. We're in the first quarter on a natural grass field. First time the Jets have played on grass all season, including the preseason. Riggs. Sledgehammer back here talking about Trump, takes it right at the Jets and gets the first down.
Guy's extraordinary. If not for the injury to William Andrews several years ago, I'm afraid Gerald Riggs would have labored here in obscurity, but when Andrews got hurt with that devastating knee, Riggs comes out here and just blows everybody away in Atlanta.
Wayne Radloff, a former U.S. Football League All-Star, is down over the ball at center. He had an unbelievable task of taking on the best nose tackle in the league, Joe Klecko, back in for the Jets after a week's absence with a knee strain. Riggs again, and again the Jets look at him, keying on the one back, and they get him down across the 20-yard line. Ball be put at the 21.
Now, one of the big matchups today is Radloff, the center for the Atlanta Falcons, versus Joe Klecko, 73. When he offsets like that, very difficult to get a shoulder pad on him. You can see it's just a bunch of people pushing on Klecko. Watch how many of the Jets get up to the line of scrimmage. With this H-back offense, the Jets will play what appears to be almost a goal line defense. 7, 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. Look at them all.
2nd down and 9 now for Atlanta. They've not thrown the ball well in recent weeks. Archer will be under pressure here. David Archer with a blitz on him by Jackson, gets it away and gets it to Wisenhunt. Now they're going to rule it to sack. Jackson, the outside linebacker, blitzing from the left side, had the quarterback David Archer in his grasp. So Jackson, who had a big game at Seattle, continues here in Atlanta.
Now it looked like the Falcons were coming with something fancy. You see, they faked the reverse. Jackson doesn't buy anything. I think that's legitimate. If you want to protect your quarterback, want to keep him healthy, play 16 football games, you come with a quick whistle. No one touched Jackson, although he did appear to grab a hold of David Archer's face mask. No flag, goes as a sack.
Now a third wide receiver comes in the game, a very fast rookie. Floyd Dixon gets out to the near side. Joey Jones is wide to the left, to the top of your screen. It's Charlie Brown moving in motion to the left. Markers go down at the snap of the ball. Third down and 24 play coming up. Looked like Glenn Howe, the right tackle.
71 on the offense. It's still third down.
It's Glenn Howe called for an early motion. Loss of 14 yards on the sack by Charles Jackson, who blitzed.
This is not the situation that Dan Henning and the Falcons want to be in. This is not a big play offense. What they like to do and need to do is get 6, 7, 8 yards on that first down, come up with 2nd and 2.
So now the Falcons in deep trouble with the ball back inside their 5-yard line. 3rd and 27 from the 4. Archer gets time. He goes to Charlie Brown. He's quick, but not quick enough to beat the DB, who takes him down inside the 10-yard line. Now first look at the scoreboard for this day. Chicago going out in front of Tampa Bay 7-0. Warren Moon is thrown for a touchdown, and the Houston Oilers lead Cincinnati 7-0. Now the punter in the game, Rick Donnelly's in to hit it from his own end zone, and the Jets could get very excellent position on their second possession of this game.
Had a player in late, Ken Wisenhunt, the H-back, and Atlanta had to take a timeout because they only had 10 men on the field. Off to a bad start. Jets special teams spectacular. Atlanta special teams not in the game yet. Wisenhunt comes in late. That cost the Atlanta Falcons a timeout. Certainly not something you want to expend this early in the first quarter.
Dan Henning's team misfired, and they got off to a 4-0 start to the Falcons, averaged 31 points a game. And then the quarterbacking, which was so effective by David Archer early, came a cropper. Defense has been sound all year. Townsell is back deep for the Jets to return the punt. And again, Donnelly drops back into his end zone for Atlanta. We have no score with 9:17 to play in the first quarter. Well hit ball. Townsell from the 37. They'll get the Jets on an illegal block. 53-yard punt and a 12-yard return. Matt Monger came down to make the play for the Jets on special teams.
Looks like Matt Monger was the one they're going to call the penalty on. He was just late with the block. Almost got it to the picket fence over here on the near side of the field. Most coaches would tell their players,
It'll be first down and 10.
as I was going to say, most coaches will tell their players if it's going to be a block that's illegal, just don't make the block.
So still no score. Jets go on offense for a second time, and we come back.
No one really knows how your skin got sensitive.
To Georgia, temperature 80 degrees, high humidity, chance of rain. Don Criqui with Bob Truppy. That good return of the punt by JoJo Townsell as Coach Walton looks on. Was sprung on the good special teams play by Matt Monger, but it was an illegal block by Monger. So now the Jets are set back to their 30 to go first and 10 for a second time in the game. Nothing score. Jets coming in with 7 straight wins. Freeman McNeil doesn't get much against the hit to the left second player picked in the entire draft last spring, makes the stop for the Falcons, number 75.
One of the things the Jets have done all season long is really mix up their offensive formations. They began the first series of the game with a spread formation and ran the football. Now they come back with 2 tight ends. It's one thing that Rich Kotite, Joe Walton have done an outstanding job of. No team can really set or figure out exactly what the Jets are going to do.
Now they flex Schuler out. That's Mickey Schuler, the tight end, coming out to the near side. And a second down and 9 play. McNeil. Again, Falcons got him down. Gave him a yard in the first carry. He got no more than 2 on that. As Mike Gann, a second-year defensive end from Notre Dame, who's really a rising star, made the play.
That corner of the Atlanta Falcon defense, very difficult to capture for any offense. The defensive ends play off the line of scrimmage. They read the tackle's head. They are very, very quick to get out there and stop the sweep.
Long yardage now, 3rd down and 7. Mike Pitts comes in to help rush the passer. 7 defensive backs for the Falcons and 4 down linemen. Play is made, but did he get far enough for the first down? Well, they spot the ball. He did not. 3rd and 7. It's going to be about a half yard short as Scott Case came up to make the play on Mickey Schuler.
What a catch. I tell you what, Scott Case was all over the tight end. You see him releasing from the line of scrimmage. They're trying to get a real crowd there. The Case on the outside and 54 Joel Williams on the inside. Spectacular catch, but not enough for a first down.
Joey Jones goes back deep now for the Falcons as Dave Jennings is ready to punt the ball a second time for the Jets. Clock is running in the first quarter. 6:55 to play in it and no score on the board. Falcons come into the game with 5 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. Game and a half back in the NFC West. Another well-hit ball by Jennings and good coverage by the Jets as Joey Jones gets it and is dropped at the 10. So the Falcons get their second possession of the game after a 50-yard punt by Dave Jennings, but they have a problem again, 90 yards to the Jet goal line. We'll be back after this. Streak has been keyed around. There's superb play in the first half. That breaks down to outscoring their opposition about 23-3. And really, they haven't had to go 4 full quarters except a couple of weeks ago against New Orleans. Jets have put the KO punch on their opposition early, just like the Bears did a season ago. Bears rarely had to play more than 2.5 quarters on the way to their great year. Chicago Bears come in here to Atlanta next week. Doesn't get any easier for the Falcons, who are meeting their 5th straight playoff team today. High set. Archer's going to put it up on first down. Charlie Brown is open and on the run as Brown is out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll spot him at the 32. So he brings sold-out Atlanta Stadium alive. Harry Hamilton, the free safety, finally ran him down, but it's a 22-yard gain.
Starts with excellent pass protection. Archer steps up, and Brown runs that crossing pattern. That's an easy pickup. The Falcons would like a lot of those. They don't get many big plays out of this offense.
That's been the problem. No big plays in the offense. Charlie Brown can give them to you, though. 1983 at Washington, he caught 78 balls and averaged 26 yards a catch, led the NFL. Archer's hit 3 for 3 now for 39 yards. Ball to Charlie Brown. Riggs going wide, and a marker is down. Gerald Riggs, a 230-pound fullback from Arizona State, who led the National Conference in rushing a season ago with just over 1,700 yards.
That's probably Joe Klecko, who tries to cheat that line of scrimmage as much as he can from that nose tackle spot. And Don, I notice once again the Jets going with a 4-man front, expecting the Atlanta Falcons to just keep running the ball.
Some early surprises. Houston up 10-0 on favored Cincinnati. Buffalo has just gone in front of Pittsburgh on a touchdown pass from Jim Kelly to Andre Reed. Bad snap on the extra point. Joe Klecko, a wrecking ball at nose tackle.
On the defense, still first down.
Well, they didn't call it on Joe Klecko, so he'll try to cheat more of that line of scrimmage. He's wearing a knee brace on his bad knee for the first time in his career, something he prefers not to do. Going to have to have surgery on the knee when the season's over, but he said, I'm playing now. This is too much fun.
Falcons took a 5-yard penalty to keep first down rather than the 7-yard run by Riggs, so it's 1st and 5 rather than 2nd and 3 had they not taken the penalty. Archer goes back. This time he's got Floyd Dixon, and the Jets sweep him under. But Dixon's going to be close to a first down. Bob Crable was one of the tacklers, outside linebacker on the right side. Of the Bears has run for a touchdown and thrown for one, as Chicago, coming off its second loss, has gone up 14-0 at Tampa Bay. There's a jet down. It's like Harry Hamilton, the free safety.
Jets have certainly had their share of injuries, but strangely, whenever there's a player gone down, the guy coming in for the Jets has played as well, if not better, than the guy that was there.
So while Harry Hamilton's attended to, there's a break in the action here at Atlanta.
The first look
After turning an ankle, and now David Archer, who's 4 for 4 throwing the ball, goes back to Gerald Riggs on the run on first down. He is out to the 48-yard line where Crable got him. Gain of about 4 on the play. The best running offense in the NFL against the best defense against the run.
One thing about this Atlanta running offense, too, Riggs averages 3.7 yards a carry. So they don't get it in big chunks. They just keep hammering it at you.
Now Riggs is only averaging 3.7 a rush. Not a breakaway runner. But he's durable. He's carried 4 times in this game for only 6 yards. 2nd and just over 5. Archer is a very good runner, and he's going to get the first down and more. David Archer comes in averaging almost 6 yards every time he runs with the ball. He has now over 260 yards rushing this season.
And in case you're wondering, that's a design play. Get the defense going one way. He's got a personal interferer in Wisenhunt, 45. Very good athlete. Picks up 7 yards. And linebackers are taught to go with flow. Well, Bob Crable, number 50, does go with the flow of the running backs, but no defensive man out there on the field is held accountable for the quarterback when he runs the ball. He's a free runner.
David Archer was the leading rusher among National Football League quarterbacks a season ago. Falcons now across the midfield stripe for the first time. Riggs working hard to get 3 or 4 down to the Jet 41-yard line. Johnny Lynn in free safety for Harry Hamilton, who turned his ankle, made the stop. Reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser most valuable player for today's game at the conclusion of the game.
Those numbers a little deceiving. He got 81 yards rushing in the first half, just 16 in the second half against the New England Patriots last week.
Got a report from the Jet bench that Harry Hamilton will be returning shortly. Right now, the Jets looking to stop an Atlanta defense that's mounting its best drive of this scoreless game. Archer on second, he needs 6. Luke Ball and Arthur Cox takes a look at the defense and doesn't look at the ball. Troy Benson was coming on a blitz. He hurried Archer and put him down after he released the ball. Say Trump that Arthur Cox, the tight end, has great hands. Too good. They've gotten him for holding 5 times already this year.
He almost looks like he can play offensive line. He's got a little
265.
265 at least. 265 pounds. Yeah, excellent blocker. And of course, in this Dan Henning H-back offense, that's what Cox and Wisenhunt both must do first. Block before they do anything else.
So from a 230-pound fullback, we now go to a 162-pounder, and Sylvester Stamps in the game. Number 29 at the top of your screen. He's swinging out of the backfield. Archer on the run, trying to buy time. And he dives for the first down. He gets inside the 35-yard line. Robbie Humphrey in pursuit, so David Archer, with his good quickness, gets a second first down running with the ball.
Quarterbacks, Don, seem to have that sixth sense when pressure is around him. And see Gastineau come from the far side, 99. It also looks like Bennett flushed him a little bit. Then Gastineau, still with that abdominal pull, can't quite reach out and get him. Archer not afraid to put his nose in there. Slides for a first down. This drive started at the Atlanta 11, Atlanta 10. Impressive to this point.
Yes, it has been. After the Jennings punt, it did begin at the 10-yard line. Our formation now. Riggs is back in to run the ball, and 3 tight ends are in. On 1st and 10 for Atlanta. Here comes Gerald Riggs. Very little. He got to about the 32. As we check the scoreboard again. Indianapolis holding to the 7-3 lead. McMillan, a fullback, ran for the Colts touchdown. Chicago continues to lead. Kansas City and Seattle scoreless. Cincinnati trailing underdog Houston 10-0. Here at Atlanta, Georgia, there's no score on the board. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy and an overcast day with temperatures about 80 degrees. It was clear and sunny early. It looked like a threat of rain. Now the clouds seem to be moving out. 9th play of this drive coming up for the Atlanta Falcons. David Archer, the running quarterback, serving the Falcons well. He's run for 2 first downs in this drive. 2nd and 8. Timing pattern. Good defense by Russell Carter, the Jet cornerback, screening Charlie Brown away from the ball.
And you could see 8 guys up at the line of scrimmage, man-to-man on the outside. The Jets coming with a blitz. And the receiver was asking for a little contact here. There was, but that's a tough call for anybody to make from any angle as to whether or not the defensive back was in fact in the way. Or Russell Carter of the receiver catching the ball. No flag.
So now on long yardage, Trump, they put little Sylvester Stamps back in the game. List him at 5'7", 162. I think he'd like to be 5'7". He's really about 5'5". Archer is 4 for 6 throwing the ball for 45 yards. Again, he buys time. Here's a marker down. Could be a hold on the Falcons as the throw is incomplete at the 15-yard line. Jets coming with a big rush. Crable was blitzing on the play. Gastineau putting pressure on. So was Marty Lyons. They're going to get Atlanta on a hold.
One of the problems when you have a scrambling quarterback, one who's looking for plus yardage or is very mobile in the pocket, sometimes those defensive backs slip away from the offensive lineman just because the defensive.
Offside, number 73 on the defense.
Oh.
Holding, number 88 on the offense. Penalties offset. Still 3rd down.
As I was going to say, the defensive lineman can see where the quarterback's going, and it really makes the offensive lineman hold just to keep him off that quarterback, but no play. That's another holding penalty on Mr. Cox.
6 for the year for Big Arthur. His primary function is that of a blocker. He can put a linebacker flat in his back, Arthur Cox. Now 3rd down and long yardage. 3rd down and about 8 comes up as the sun breaks through here in Georgia, and Sylvester Stamps in the backfield for the Falcons. Archer gets time, throws the ball out to Stamps, and he catches the ball, but well short of a first down.
This little guy's a rather impressive receiver. Is a threat to not only catch the ball but also run the ball. You can see it. Lyles is just a little bit bigger than Sylvester. He dances out there though and makes the catch, keeps his feet in bounds. Still though, it brings up 4th down, and the kicker in Luckhurst, who is suffering from back spasms. I don't know from day to day whether this kid is going to be able to kick.
You can see he's had problems lately, hitting only 1 of his last 5. Born in England, Nick Luckhurst ready now for a 44-yard try off the grass at Atlanta Stadium. No score. He's got the distance. But Nick Luckhurst is wide, so he is 1 for 6 on field goal tries, and the Jets take over. 2 minutes and 12 seconds left to play in first quarter that the Jets have not moved the ball in.
I think that's the biggest surprise so far. That of the 2 teams, Atlanta has really done a good job. Watch Luckhurst. He's trying body English. He's trying to talk to it. He's trying to scream at it. Anything. But he just left it out wide left.
And so the Falcons, with an impressive drive that started on their 10-yard line, come away empty. All the way down the field and no points, and the Jets get the ball at their 27-yard line. Another Jet possession.
To this point in the first quarter, Falcons have had it almost twice as much as the Jets, which is very much in keeping with the Falcons. They lead the NFL in time possession on offense.
One area of offense, Trump, the Jets haven't been real effective at is running the ball. They're averaging only 3.1 yards a rush. But their passing game has been so extraordinary, with O'Brien triggering it deep to Tune and Walker. And here he's going to look right now. He swings it out. And Tony Page gets some room to run and takes it across the 30. A gain of close to 5 yards on the play. Cornerback Scott Case made the knockdown for the Falcons.
For the Jets to be successful today, they got to be patient. There are going to be drives where the Atlanta Falcons under Marion Campbell just stop them dead. But you just got to keep looking around to find the receiver that's open. Show a great deal of different offensive sets and patience, and you should be successful.
Jets quickly into formation now with a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Ryan dumps it off. With the ball is Townsell, and he's ahead for a Jet first down out to the 41-yard line. Buddy Curry cut him, but JoJo Townsell gets ahead. I think that's his first catch of the year for Townsell.
Tony Casillas was all over Ken O'Brien, too, playing the nose tackle. He's over Bingham, and also Alexander rushes to the outside right in the face of Ken O'Brien. Normally, he's not that good a pass rusher. They take him out in obvious passing situations.
Townsell's first official catch of the year. He had one earlier catch taken away on a replay. Now on a first down run, the Jets don't get much as Casillas, at 280 pounds, stuffs it up the middle. They realized how good Tony Casillas was at keying this defense. He went out for a half against New England, and the Patriots ran for 130 yards in that half.
He is a man. He's well taken care of, too. His wife is a medical student here at Emory University in Atlanta. So if he's got any bumps or bruises, he can go to the doctor, and she lives in the same place.
Reggie Wilkes, the outside linebacker on the left side, his wife is a physician also, doing a residency in Philadelphia. Raymond McNeil's had trouble since coming off the injury list, and he has problems on that play. A 2nd and 9, and he lost a couple of yards as tough Buddy Curry, who teamed with Lawrence Taylor, now the Giants, and one of the great linebacking duos in college football, and they're both at North Carolina.
And you see how deep those inside linebackers set, almost 6 yards from the line of scrimmage, and their first step is forward. That time it looked like Buddy Curry was on a blitz. Beat the trap block there to make the tackle.
So the first quarter comes to an end, and still no score at Atlanta.
At the height of his career, the Falcons' William Andrews destroyed his knee. Doctors said his career was over. The Achievers, those who faced adversity and refused to fail. Sponsored by the U.S. Army.
We don't know if the nerve is going to come back. We don't know if you're ever going to be able to walk normal again.
With his knee in pieces and those frightening words ringing in his ears, Andrews began an agonizing 2-year odyssey to return to football. That part of the story later.
It wasn't a piece of cake. It was a lot of hard work.
You're reaching deep inside you, so things you've never known. It's been tough, rough going, but you haven't gone alone.
We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
All that you can
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
find your future in the Army.
After one quarter of play, still no score at Atlanta. One of the big factors that's led to the Jets' extraordinary season, Trump, is the fact that they're the only team in the National Football League that's unbeaten on the road. They're 4-0, and last year were a 500 road team.
Well, one thing about the Jets, too, with their ability to win, and they do it in such big ways, I don't think they're worried right now. They've got so many offensive weapons that they can get the ball down the field just about any time they think they want to. But for the Atlanta Falcons, that last drive was very, very important to them. They got no points whatsoever, but it consumed just over 4 minutes, and they drove it about 60 yards, and very few teams, frankly, Don, in the last 7 weeks have been able to do that against the Jets. So psychologically, I think Atlanta feels, hey, we got a chance today.
The longer they keep it close, the bigger chance they get, because the Jets have put that KO punch on early. Last 4 games outscoring their opposition 23-3, and the games were really over at halftime other than the New Orleans game. Scoreboard, Tampa Bay gets a field goal. Rams and New Orleans scoreless at the Superdome. Rams a tough-looking outfit. Houston continues to lead one of the AFC Central leaders, Cincinnati, 10-0. Green Bay holding to a 1-point lead over Washington, and the Vikings up on the Lions at Pontiac, Michigan. Buffalo with its new coach Marv Levy leading the Steelers 6-0. Third down and 11 now. Here comes O'Brien ready to put it up deep. Puts a lot of top on it. Toon's going for the ball. It's going to be a touchdown for the Jets.
No flag.
Perfect football play, a 59-yard pass play, and Toon has his 8th touchdown reception of the year. So the Jets, who banged away at this tough Falcon defense, finally go high up. And it's a perfect strike to Toon from Ken O'Brien.
It was over Brett Clark. We'll watch the pattern from the outset. So very, very tall. I think his speed is deceiving. He's beating the zone. You're not supposed to be able to throw the ball for a touchdown against the zone. The safety, Brett Clark, is supposed to be back there and make sure that doesn't happen. That's his 6th touchdown pass now in the last 3 games.
O'Brien, a very decisive quarterback, with his 8th touchdown throw in the last 3 games. 7 in the previous 2. Extra point by sure shot Pat Leahy is up and good. And the Jets get on the board first and take a 7-0 lead. Let's watch it again.
Look at the concentration on the football. He wears gloves. They're kind of a crutch. They don't really help him at all.
They don't hurt either.
Toon is used to that in the end zone.
When I'm on a road like this and come up on the bumper of one of those 20-grand driving.
With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at Atlanta Stadium, where the Jets just made it happen fast. It was a 5-play, 73-yard drive, but the last 59 came on the throw from O'Brien to Toon, his 8th touchdown reception, 7-0 Jets. Now tough William Andrews runs back the kickoff for Atlanta. Gets it out to the 20-yard line. Let's watch the big play again, the only one of this game so far.
You can see what happens. Toon at the top of the screen. The guy who eventually gets beat is the safety, Brett Miller, at the right of the screen. He looks inside. O'Brien looks him off, and Toon blows right by him. And just to show you how incredible the Jets have been to this point in the season, that's the 11th touchdown they've scored of 35 yards or more. They seem to be able to do it almost at will.
And what you pointed out, Trump, he ran by a deep zone defense. He ran by the corner, he ran by the safety.
And you're not supposed to be able to do that. No moves, just pure, unadulterated foot speed.
Zone defense where the defenders play a certain area of the field, and they were positioned deep to protect against the long throw. Didn't do any good now. The Falcons will try to get back in it. They're going to put it up. Archer, long ball. He's got a man down there. And very quick Charlie Brown rips the Jets for a big play as he's across the Jet 40 and out of bounds at the 38-yard line. 42-yard gain.
Flag late, too.
Holmes and Brown, a pushing match after the play as Jerry Holmes was the beaten cornerback on the play. So Atlanta comes right back with a big throw.
It was a stop-and-go pattern. Watch what Charlie does. Good experience. He's going to fake the stop. Then, watch, there's Holmes. And Archer gets it right to him. Then at the end of the play, Holmes comes back in the picture. He's not very happy that Charlie Brown beat him. And they throw a flag. Who's it going to be against? Against both sides. That should be against Charlie Brown. That's not very smart. Catch the ball, go back to the huddle. Could have cost your team 15 yards on that.
Red Cashin makes it a push. Penalty each way, so no yardage, and the ball is spotted at the Jet 38-yard line. Talked earlier about Charlie Brown's big play potential, that unbelievable season he had with Joe Theismann at Washington. Brown caught 78 passes for an average of 25.7 per catch. There's an 83. Archer's numbers are good early in this game. The Jets lead 7-0. Riggs goes at the Jets on first down and gets it inside the 35-yard line. Now, while we have a moment, let's go to NFL 86 and Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, Don, in Indianapolis, the Colts are surprising the Patriots. Here, Jack Trudeau hits rookie Bill Brooks on this 49-yard play. Later, Trudeau ran for a 1-yard touchdown. It's 14-3 Colts in the second quarter.
Thank you, Ahmad. That's a big surprise. The Colts, the next opponent for the Jets, they play in the Meadowlands of New Jersey next week. And, of course, the Jets came in today with a 2-game lead over New England in the AFC East. Jets would own the division if the Colts ever pull off that upset. Pitch back on 2nd and 6. Artie Lyons gets a hold of the running back. Gerald Riggs for a moment, but he gets ahead maybe to the line of scrimmage. Might have got a yard. Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator of the Jets you're looking at, is a former head coach here in Atlanta of Georgia Tech. Of course, he's also a man that knows Super Bowls. He's been with 10 playoff teams over the years and was the defensive coordinator with 3 Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl winners.
He's doing a lot of changing with that defense in this first part of this football game. Lyons goes out. Looks like his shoulder. When a player holds his shoulder like that, an arm like that, you know it's his shoulder. Doctors will look at him. Atlanta's done a pretty good job so far.
Atlanta will be putting it up here now. Extra wide receivers in the game. It is 3rd down and 6. Jets lead on a 59-yard pass play to Toon. Archer gets it away. Was it caught? It was not. Incomplete at the 31-yard line. So with 13:08 to go in the first half, the Falcons now see 4th down come up on the sticks.
Lester Lyles came with the blitz. Bud Carson does an excellent job of calling these timely blitzes. He comes from the safety spot just to disrupt the offense, and the ball is short. I believe that's a good call. No catch by Brown.
Too long for a field goal try, and Rick Donnelly, the punter, comes out now for Atlanta. JoJo Townsell isn't dropping back too deep.
Always got to watch for the fake here, Don. This Falcon team doesn't make many big plays. Maybe they can manufacture one. No, he's going to kick it.
Angles it to the far sideline. He got it out of bounds. Well done by Donnelly of the Falcons. Going to be out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. That's where the Jets will get it when we come back.
We're MCI, racing hard to be your communications company. We never coast. We're geared to win. MCI competes internationally, offering you the world's most extensive range of voice, data, and messaging services. Our competition is good. We have to be better. And because we compete, you win. MCI, communications for the next 100 years.
It's Sears 3-day salute to great values with exciting values like this versatile Kenmore microwave oven with touch controls, just $149.99.
3 days only.
Or this 19-inch solid state color TV now at just $188.
3 days only.
Or this Kenmore upright vacuum with powerful beater brush, an outstanding value, just $54.
3 days only.
During Sears store-wide salute to great values.
Sears, more for your life.
Sale ends Tuesday.
At Sears.
When Mazda asked me if I'd like to take some hot laps in one of their RX-7 race cars, they didn't have to ask twice. Whew, I'm telling you, nothing pours out power as smoothly as a rotary engine. It makes for a great race car and a great sports car. This RX-7 also has one of the most advanced suspension systems in the world. It loves to be driven hard. Check it out. But don't blame me if you start hating what you're driving now.
Want to take it out again, Mr. Garner?
Like I said, you don't have to ask me twice.
On a special 90-minute highway to heaven, this wedding's off. Can Jonathan save 3 marriages from self-destruction? Amen. Wednesday.
Back in Atlanta, look at the scoreboard. The Indianapolis Colts, a lot of people, Trump thought they'd run up the white flag, an 0-9 start, but they're beating one of the better teams, New England, 14-3 right now at the Hoosier Dome. Bill Kenny's just thrown a touchdown pass for the Chiefs, a good club up on Seattle, a team that's lost 3 of its last 4 after a fast start. Here in Atlanta, it is the Jets with the ball, 1st and 10 and leading on the throw by that man, Ken O'Brien, to Al Toon, a 59-yard play. It's 7-0. Freeman McNeil, since he's come back off the injury list, having just a 2.7 per carry average. A breakaway runner, crewed up a young cornerback at him. See his numbers for the year, Freeman McNeil.
Now, we haven't seen Johnny Hector here yet in replacing Freeman McNeil. When Freeman was out with the bad elbow, Hector did a spectacular job. I would be a bit surprised to see him in. There he is, 34, right behind Joe Walton. We're going to see him quickly just for a change of pace.
McNeil only getting 1.5 yards to carry today. 6 carries, 9 yards. Swing pass to McNeil. Change Change of pace move. Then he accelerates up the far sideline. Buddy Curry ran him out. But Freeman McNeil's going to be close to a first down. We'll see where they spot him. He's going to have it where he got.
This is well set up. You see the personal interferer out there for him, Ted Banker, and he does pick up the first down. McNeil, a very, very shifty of foot. Very seldom you see plotting running backs, and you see guys who are kind of tiptoeing across the grass. Freeman McNeil is a tiptoer. Look at those points, will you?
Remember at the Pro Bowl, Don Shula telling us, I never believed how good Freeman McNeil was when I saw him practice with him. Out pattern on a first down and 10. Wesley Walker, the intended receiver, looking for his first catch of the day, averaging 23 yards a catch this season.
He got it. One of the things you'll notice throughout the game is the Falcons' defensive corners really play off a great deal, sometimes as much as 10 yards. It's a cheap way to pick up 8 or 9 yards, just to throw that hitch pattern. Hopefully the receiver will break a tackle and bust up the sideline.
Walker's to the near side, the bottom of your screen. Al Toon is coming back in motion out of the near side. 88. Freeman McNeil takes on the Falcon defenders. Rick Bryan was up to make the stop. Falcons have no sacks in their last 2 games.
Watch Guy Bingham and Casillas. Banker, the left guard, also helps. Good push by the offensive line of the Jets. Excellent lead block up there by 72. You see him at the top of the screen, Gordon King. And McNeil stays right on the hip of that tackle, then breaks it off at the point of the block.
Again, Walker comes to the near side. Now he goes in motion. O'Brien stands in. Up the middle he goes. The connection is made at about the 41-yard line. On 1st and 10, there's a gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards. John Rady, an inside linebacker, made the stop. Freeman McNeil with the catch. O'Brien has a tremendously high long ball. Talking to Zeke Bratkowski, the quarterback coach, yesterday at practice, he was saying that he gives his receivers that are so fast time to adjust to the ball in flight. He said it's just too tough to zero in and hit him with a line drive. So O'Brien just lets it go long and lets his speed get under it. His speed off the flanks. Here's McNeil on a 2nd down and 6, putting on moves to get out of trouble, and he's ahead for maybe another first down. Rick Bryan ran him out of bounds for the Falcons, but out of the 47-yard line of the Jets.
Don, once again, an excellent job of play selection as Freeman gets up limping. You see him on the sideline. Great job of play selection by Joe Walton. Rich Kotite, they do. And then, of course, when you get the ball in the hands of Freeman McNeil, he's just so nifty. Looks like he sprained his right ankle there a little bit, Don. Did you see that just at the end?
Yeah.
And Hector in the ball game.
Jets, as we mentioned earlier, playing on a grass field for the first time this year. Even in the preseason, they never had a grass field game. They practice on it a lot, though, at Hofstra. Here is the handoff going to McNeil, and he weaves ahead. It'll be Johnny Hector running the ball for the first time, and he gets down to the 47-yard line where Wilkes and Curry knocked him down. Hector's done a big job for the Jets, over 500 yards rushing, coming in when McNeil went down with the elbow injury. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited. Jets 7, Falcons nothing. 10:15 to play in the first half. Bryan looking at Toon. Now he's going to Walker. He's open. Wesley Walker in the end zone. And the Jets have a second bomb for a touchdown with no markers down.
That's under his average, though.
Yeah.
That's a 46-yard catch, and Wesley Walker coming into the ball game had averaged 50 yards per touchdown catch. Toon caught his 8th earlier. That's Wesley Walker's 8th. Again, Wesley Walker ran by the zone. Crudup was the man in coverage. When you play zone, you're a little softer. You really don't react to a receiver running at you. And with Toon's speed and Walker's speed, you just can't do that. You've got to prepare yourself. They bid on the play action, and by that time, Walker was wide open.
He's been doing it for a long time. This is Wesley Walker's 10th year in the NFL. Again, Leahy is perfect with the extra point. So the Jets hit 2 big scoring throws. First to Toon, then to Walker. It's 14-0 New York.
Dear McDonald's, My mother makes a hamburger just like your McD.
Coming up on Week 11 next Sunday on NBC Sports, and coming up at halftime, Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, and Paul McGuire at NFL 86. Reviewing this 10th weekend of play, the 10th Sunday, as the Jets look to extend their record to 9-1. You have to look at the Jets as a Super Bowl contender, because the only other 8-1 team is Denver, and the Jets dominated Denver, led them 22-0 at the half, and won 22-10. After 2 long scoring throws from Ken O'Brien, the Jets are ready to kick it off again, and Leahy rockets the ball right out of the end zone. Baseball, they call this stadium the launching pad. And Leahy almost put one in the cheap seats.
O'Brien's doing it. Watch what happens at play fake. You see 50 and 59, the 2 inside linebackers hesitate. Rosota, the defensive back, and Walker was behind him. And Don, you just made the point of how high O'Brien throws the football. Allowed Wesley Walker to adjust. 8 plays, 92 yards, the last 46 to Wesley Walker.
Give you an idea, Trump, just how effective the Jet passing game is over this season. The Falcon defense has allowed its opposition less than 50% completions. Ken O'Brien today, this is unbelievable, but it is every week with him, is 10 of 11 for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Last mistake this kid made was walking into Studio 54 with Mark Gastineau about 2-3 years ago.
Not a lot of good things happen there at 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't think he's been back. Archer. Nice play by Archer. The big Arthur Cox ready to take him out. Arthur Cox is across midfield and down to the 49-yard line. 265 pounds at tight end.
That's his longest catch of the season.
That's a football player. Everything but a license plate on that truck.
You can see what Atlanta has to do to come up with the big plays. They fake the reverse. Bob Crable's right there. Archer does make a heck of a play. And quarterbacks who can step up and avoid that rush and still get the ball off when everybody was well defensed. Finally all the way down the field.
A good second look. Our producer today for NBC Sports is David Neal. Our director Andy Rosenberg is right now. The Falcons have the ball 1st and 10 just across midfield, but they're down 14-0. Charlie Brown, and this is Dixon coming fast. And little Floyd Dixon, a rookie, gets inside the 45-yard line where he's not treated well by Jerry Holmes. Gastineau running well today despite that stomach problem. Indianapolis still up on the New England Patriots. Bears have Flutie in uniform today, and they'll be quick to put him in if the offense falters. It hasn't with Tomczak. Cincinnati having a problem with the Oilers at Houston. Other scores not changing right here at Atlanta Stadium. It's the Falcons trailing the Jets 14-0 as you see the game clock down to 8:26 to play and running. And it's to NFL 86 for the scores and the stories today. Archer with Marty Lyons coming hard. Long ball. Going for it is Dixon. Good coverage. And Jerry Holmes tips the ball away. Floyd Dixon, a rookie receiver, who's been the best deep threat that the Falcons have had this year. The ball was right to him, but the cornerback was right with him.
Now you can see that the Falcons are already out of their game plan. There's hands all over, but both players looking back at the football. Holmes and Dixon both allowed for that incidental contact. This ball was almost parachuted in. But the Falcons don't win by throwing reverse passes and running reverses. They win by giving the ball to Gerald Riggs time after time. And when you're down 14-0, you don't have any choice. You got to put the ball up. The Jets have taken the Falcons out of this game offensively already.
Falcons have thrown the ball 12 times. They've run the ball 10. Now on 3rd and 4, Archer stands in. He's got a dance. Has not been treating the quarterbacks well this year. You may recall he bounced John Elway on his head.
He's mad at himself too. Why did I do that? I had the sack. Bangs himself on the helmet. That was really dumb. Sometimes that happens though, just in the heat of battle.
Marty Lyons is down again, Trump.
Shoulder still bothering him, a problem he's had for several weeks. Now watch what happens at the end of the play. Bennett makes the play. That's the plus. He grabs the face mask.
78 on the defense. Still 3rd down.
Red cash in right there to make the call, and Marty Lyons still down. And they're working on his shoulder. They've already got Klecko hurt, wearing a knee brace. Gastineau with that abdominal pull. And now Marty Lyons.
Jets have had people step in, though, the backups, and have done a great job. Joe Walton, the coach there, was saying yesterday at the practice, he said, in the course of a long season, you're not going to have games like you had that last week when everybody played well, offense, defense, and special teams. And when the offense doesn't click, the defense or special teams has to pick you up. And he said, that's what we've had.
Don, he
One
also
of the groups has excelled every week.
He also said, though, you'll see Lyons get hurt here. He gets hit at the late. He does break through the offensive line. Looks like they're setting up a screen. He's on the ground. He gets up. Now, from the right-hand side of the screen, somebody comes back to get him. Is it Ken, 78, or Scully, 61?
He's going to the locker room, Marty Lyons.
You were mentioning about the reserves. Someone asked Joe Walton, without Fields, without McNeil, with all the other problems you've had with injuries, did you ever expect to be 8-1? And Joe Walton honestly stated no. But the reserves have played that well. He's going straight to the locker room.
A lot of blood in his pants. It looks like it's somebody else's, though. He didn't look at his blood.
That's what you always hope for. Somebody else's blood on your pants.
Third down comes up now for David Archer. Good passing numbers for Archer, who has not thrown the ball particularly well in the recent weeks. Wisenhunt drops the ball. That brings up fourth down, kills the drive. Falcons have to punt it back to the Jets.
And that's got to be a busted play because Arthur Cox and Wisenhunt were within 2 yards of each other. Somebody ran their own pattern anyway, somewhere. The thing that impresses me about Archer, he's avoided the rush. Very nifty back there.
He's quick. And the game has been free of replay problems. No reviews today.
That's a plus.
Bill Granholm from the NFL offices here, he said there are now 3 great lines. Trust me, the check is in the mail, and we're from the league office, and we've come to help. It's been a problem just about every week. A long hit downfield, and the ball is taken at the 15-yard line, so the Jets start out at their own end. But with a 14-0 lead, O'Brien and the offense comes back out now. Townsell with a fair catch. David Archer looking for Wisenhunt. Archer from Soda Springs, Idaho, and Iowa State, free agent quarterback. They expected Turk Schoner to be the starter here in Atlanta when he was traded for. Came in from the Bengals.
They pay Turk like he's a starter. He makes about 3 times what Archer makes.
From the eye set, Jets go to the run, and Freeman McNeil takes the ball. As the game clock is down to 7:15 and running in the second quarter, the Jets in the lead 14-0. Ken O'Brien, the Jet quarterback, now with 9 touchdown throws and no interceptions in his last 3 games. Marty Lyons going to the locker room to have his injured shoulder re-examined.
Yeah, if you're the Atlanta Falcons defense, you got to say, look, we played pretty well. We're down 14-0. Basically 2 plays have beaten the Falcons to this point.
Penalty marker goes down as Freeman McNeil doesn't get much. McNeil playing at a much lighter weight. He came in as a rookie, weighing about 224 pounds. Now he's running at about 208.
Penalty against the Jets.
Walton says the one thing he's very pleased about, he doesn't think this is a group that's going to get overconfident. They're really maintaining their equilibrium with all the success they've had.
Penalties on Rocky Cleaver. I agree. There have been a lot of Jet players who have really suffered through some bad times. The Jets really only have 1 negative since Joe Walton took over in '83. They're 10-13 in November and December in combined records. That's when you win division championships, November and December.
7 DBs, defensive backs in, 4 down linemen as O'Brien throws and makes a connection again to Al Toon, who's out across the 30-yard line for a Jet first down. Herman Edwards was in to cover.
That was a total zone, and Thune was just able to work his way down there. You don't see a lot of moves here. But O'Brien puts it right on the numbers. Herman Edwards had about a 2-yard cushion timing pattern. No way to stop that. That's O'Brien's 10th straight completion.
.540 to go now in the first half. Jets leading 14-0. O'Brien could go long at any moment. Very decisive quarterback. When he sees the deep play open, it's bang. He's gotten it twice today. Once for a 59-yard scoring play to Thune, a 46-yard scoring play to Wesley Walker. And they each have 8 touchdown catches this year. And O'Brien has thrown for 19 scores this season.
Rather incredible numbers, aren't they? They haven't done it against stiffs either. They played some quality football teams in the last several weeks. Seattle, Denver, New England. They put up some big numbers against those 3 teams.
Jets destroyed Seattle 38-7 at the Kingdome in Seattle. Johnny Hector working hard, gets into open field and gets a Jet first down on 2nd down and 10. He runs ahead for 12 yards, almost 13 yards. Scoreboard not changing. Rams and New Orleans in a tough game at the Kingdome. Saints an improving team. Kansas City extending its lead over Seattle to 10-0. And Houston extending its lead to 13-0 over favored Cincinnati. O'Brien checks his receivers on a 1st and 10 play. Johnny Hector takes the pitch, and the Falcons don't give him much as the Jets are winding that clock down now to 4 minutes to play in the first half. Mike Gann and Reggie Wilkes were on the staff for Atlanta.
Boy, it is quiet in here, isn't it? The Falcons have had very little to cheer about. One big play to Cox. That was really about it. They're sitting here in stunned silence as the Jets once again are big playing a team right out of the first half.
Falcons try to make it happen with bare knuckle football on defense. Try to force those turnovers with the hits. Quick out to Wesley Walker. He didn't get much on 2nd down and about 7. And hit for about 3.
This is something I think the Jets can take advantage of all day long. Look at the cushion there. Crude up 30 is a good 10 yards off of Wesley Walker. And he's 12 yards when Walker makes the catch. I'm not even sure they have to even run the screen out there, the slip screen. Just throw the hitches to Walker and Thune, and I think they can 6 and 7 yard it right down the field.
Jets, Trump, have now outscored their opposition 105-13 in the first half of their last 5 games. O'Brien with 11 straight completions, looking for 12, and he gets it to Freeman McNeil. On a 3rd and short, though, he was chopped down short of where he had to go for the first down. Scott Case got him at the 45-yard line. Freeman McNeil had to get to the 44.
One of the things you try to do in a zone is lay off and then come up on the receiver just as he catches the football. Hopefully he can jar it loose. Freeman hangs on even with a tough hit by Scott Case. And there's Marion Campbell, the defensive coordinator of the Falcons. Been a defensive coordinator in the NFL for 25 years, Don.
What was that he told you about where his career's headed?
He said if they fired me tomorrow, today'd be my last day of coaching.
Jets going for it on 4th down and less than a yard now. Pitch back to Hector.
Close.
Didn't look like he got there. We'll see where the spot. It's all important. John Rady shot the gap, an inside linebacker who's put on 20 pounds of muscle since last season. He's up to over 240 now. Spot is everything. Linesmen move in.
Excellent job of pursuit by the Atlanta Falcons here. They run to the corner, the Jets do. Everybody's there to meet him. Watching the middle of the bunch. Tony Casillas, 75, runs behind the center. But Rady really puts a rocket hit on. And it's a first down, Jets.
Ken O'Brien now, Trump, with 12 straight completions for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. We have NBC statistician Ross Schneiderman totaling some amazing stats every week for Ken O'Brien. season, O'Brien threw only 8 interceptions for an entire 16-game season. This season he's thrown 6.
He is in control out there too, Don. He knows what everybody's doing out there in a green jersey.
First down throw. He goes to Hector, who takes it inside the 40-yard line of Atlanta.
Now you can see the understanding that Ken O'Brien has of this Jet offense now. He looked from his left all the way over back to the right side of the field and completes the ball to Hector. I think you got to give a lot of credit to Zeke Bratkowski, the quarterback coach of the Jets. Has spent hours, days, weeks, and months with Ken O'Brien. Yesterday in practice, there's Zeke Bratkowski right there. Bart Starr's back up at Green Bay a millennium ago. Yesterday, O'Brien stayed out after practice and threw from the 20-yard line until he hit the goalpost, the upright. And then he finally went in.
Zeke Bratkowski was an All-American for the Dogs of Georgia, nearby Athens as a collegiate. Now it's Freeman McNeil turning the corner, trying to put that elusive move on, but the Falcons don't buy. And Scott Case holds position, makes the stop on 2nd down and 5. Short gain. We're down to the 2-minute warning here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium as the Jets continue to lead the Falcons 14-0.
I always thought the Mazda SE5 was a good deal because it comes standard.
Kapalua International coming up next Saturday on NBC Sports from beautiful Maui, Hawaii. Right now on a Hawaii temperature type of day, 80 degrees and humid here in Atlanta, Georgia. The Jets have the ball 3rd down and just over 2. Bryan dumps it off. That's 13 completions in a row. And Johnny Hector's not done. He's down inside the 25-yard line, down to the 23. Brett Clark finally got him. Falcons firing fist down. Disturbed they lost him when he was hemmed in way back.
Every time you look at this Jets play offense somewhere, it's great players making great plays. Looks like Rady, 59, missed the tackle, normally a very sure-handed tackler. Brett Clark finally makes the stop. 13 straight completions, the NFL record 20 held by Ken Anderson in 1983.
In a playoff game with Houston. And 14 yards on the last play. Here's another completion to Al Toon. He's down to the 16-yard line. 14 straight.
That's 15, Don. We missed one. 15 straight. This is another impressive drive by the New York Jets. Started at their own 15. Play action fake. Look at him. Boy, I'm telling you, he's as cool as the other side of your pillow standing back there. He can find anybody open. He's on a roll. That kid is absolutely on a roll. Of course, when you got guys like that to throw it to, their hands look bigger.
Toon looks like a basketball player when he's out there in shorts and a t-shirt warming up like he was yesterday.
He's got those young legs, too. Springs in him.
See, one of his other great attributes is he can go up and just make himself into a dish rag. He still loses. He doesn't get hurt when he takes those hard hits. Into the end zone they go. Is it a touchdown? It is. So the 16th straight completion is a 2nd touchdown pass to Wesley Walker. A 3rd touchdown throw of this day for Ken O'Brien. And the Jets now have taken command of the game 20-0.
Man, it's unbelievable. He's just standing back there waiting for somebody to get open. He knows they're going to. He has confidence in his offensive line. He's not worried about pressure. He looks to the left. He looks to the middle. He looks all the way over back to the right. Even with Bryan right in his face, yeah, nothing to it. Just go deep. I'll hit you.
And again, Leahy is right there with the extra point. And so O'Brien with 3 touchdown throws has brought the Jets to a 21-0 lead.
A football injury means weeks or years of agony. The Falcons' William Andrews knows.
It looks easy. And O'Brien makes it look easy. Bryan's in his face. Look at there. How do you find a receiver like that? Walker ran an excellent pattern to get open.
That'd be a perfect throw, though.
He's made several, 16 in a row.
3 for touchdowns. Now the Falcons watch it go out of the end zone again off the foot of Pat Leahy. So nothing has been happening for Atlanta as the Jets passing game. A year ago, O'Brien was the highest rated passer in the NFL with the 96.4 rating. Highest this year at 107. With his numbers today, he'll go up to about 120.
Watch this pattern run by Wesley Walker. Watch Crude at number 30. Mismatch. And then the scramble by O'Brien, and Walker knows when the quarterback scrambles left, you run with him. He gets himself open, and O'Brien can definitely find you.
Wesley Walker now with 9 touchdown receptions this season. 2 today. Now the Falcons in trouble, have to come out of their power. That hammer and anvil game of theirs is pounding away at the defense. They got Stamps in the backfield. They'll be throwing the ball. Not this time. Stamps is going to run it, and very well, as Sylvester Stamps breaks into open field. Little guy's knocked down, but then he coughs it up and gets it back himself, it seems.
Russell Carter made the first hit. David Archer is in there to try to get the ball. That's a 17-yard pickup. Simple sweep. One of the problems the Falcons have had all day long is just bad field position, Don. Was Klecko offsides or not? Who, me? Oops. Sorry.
Number 73 on the defense. Still first down.
Here's that run by Stamps. Gets to the corner. Then when he accelerates up the field, you'll see that initially Russell Carter makes the hit on him, runs through the tackle by Bobby Humphrey, a converted wide receiver. Probably not the best tackler you're going to find in a Jet uniform. This kid's fighting for inches. Ball pops loose. The guy who put points on that football was a genius, you know. Made that game different than any other play.
Draws a crowd when it's on the field.
Goes funny, too.
1st and 5 for David Archer. Nicely thrown ball, and Floyd Dixon turning out makes the first down catch for Atlanta. Jerry Holmes covering. 15-yard gain on the play.
Don, the Jets are in a prevent defense. All they're trying to do is lay back and protect the yardage behind them. Not concerned about catches in front of them. They'll give up 3 points here. That's no problem whatsoever. They just don't want a quick score.
That defeat of the Seattle Seahawks by the Jets last week, 38-7, apparently took a lot out of that team, because they're getting clean today at Kansas City, 17-0.
Jets did it in a very convincing fashion, too. Seattle had nothing to cheer about after last week.
Stamps so quick. Jets have been knocking down the big back Gerald Riggs, but Stamps has been sneaking by. Now with 20 seconds to play in the half, the Falcons call timeout.
Don't worry about it. We're having a party.
There's Gerald Riggs, who you just saw at the office, not doing much today. Only 16 yards on 8 carries so far.
Came into this ball game averaging 88 yards per carry. 88 yards per game. That's a little garish. But the Jets are allowing
Canton.
Yeah, the Jets are allowing just 67 yards rushing per game.
Archer sack as Bobby Humphrey came in a blitz. 3rd sack of the day for the Jet defense, and their 20th of the season.
On that time, Ben Rudolph, number 76 of the Jets, dropped off in coverage from his defensive end spot.
Falcons have only 3 touchdowns in their last 20 quarters, 5 games.
Dixon makes that catch and gets out of bounds. The most important thing in the last seconds of a half or a game, don't fight for inches. Just get out of bounds. Make sure you can stop that clock.
The Jets had vivid memories, Trump, of a Falcon comeback. The last time they played in '83, the Jets were up. They had a 21-0 lead at one point, and the Falcons came back to win the game 27-21. Dan Henning has seen his season in flames now after a great start. The win over the Cowboys took this team to 4-0. Now with just 1 win in their last 5 games, and down in this one, 21-0 on 3 Ken O'Brien touchdown throws.
I think they're questioning which down it is. It is 4th down. The sideline marker says 3rd. I think it's 4th down.
The intimidating football the Falcons haven't been in evidence today. Dan Henning says, we like to be a team that other teams don't like to play, but the way the Jets have burned that defense today, they'd send a car for the Falcons defense.
I agree with you, Don. Atlanta's getting an extra down here. It should be 4th down. They're listing it as 3rd.
And getting the first down out of it as Sylvester Stamps is up the middle. The penalty marker is down.
Jets dropped way, way off there in coverage.
Doesn't get easier for the Falcons. They have a string of 8 straight playoff opponents coming through. This is the 5th in a row, and next week
illegal contact on the defense, number 29. That penalty is declined. First down, timeout.
Little touch of Dixie and Red Cashin's voice.
Yes, sir. He seems to fit down here. And now with 1 second left, I think they're going to send the kicker in to try Mick Luckhurst with a field goal to put some kind of points on the board. But Don, for the 5th straight week now, the Jets have taken their opponents totally out of the football game in the first half.
Just like the Bears at 85, they never played the 4th quarter. They just didn't show up. They were so far ahead almost all the time, except for that Miami game. Bob and Ahmad and Paul standing by with NFL 86 at halftime. A couple of upsets in the offing today, quite possibly.
These Jets lucky again today here in Atlanta, aren't they? Suppose I ought to call Paul and remind him.
Listen, they're ready to send Paul a game check. He said they were great. That doesn't inspire anybody.
They've been consistently lucky over the last 9 weeks, haven't they? That's a good run of luck.
They could be lucky right through Pasadena. New England's going to get in. If they lose today, it'll have to be as a wild card. The Jets would have a 3-game lead over the Patriots. And again, Luckhurst, who just hasn't had much luck, is 1 for 7 last 7 field goal tries. So to the locker room they go. Ken O'Brien with a phenomenal first half. The Falcons hear a chorus of boos here in their home arena as the Jets lead 21-0. The passing numbers for Ken O'Brien absolutely extraordinary in the first half. He has completed 17 of 18 passes for 221 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He also got 16 consecutive. The NFL record is 20 held by Ken Anderson. So I don't know if the Jets will find out about this at halftime. I'm sure Frank Ramos, the PR director, will tell them we may have the chance of a new record. Those 16 consecutive, a new record for a Jet quarterback. So the Jets are rolling. And once again, O'Brien is just absolutely red hot.
It's 21-0 at halftime.
Once again, continuing what the Jets have done over the last 4 weeks is just flat taken the Atlanta Falcons out of the football game offensively. Out of their so far, the first half, the Falcons have run 18 pass plays and 13 running plays. This is a team that in 6 of their 9 games so far this season, the Falcons have rushed for more yards than they've thrown for. And the Falcons trailing 21-0. They got to put it up on almost every down, Don.
And it should also be pointed out, Trump, that the Jets, the last 17 games that they've led at the half, have gone on to win as they lead now. Here's the kickoff downfield, and Sylvester Stamps brings it back for the Falcons. Free ball. Rumble. Jets have it. Michael Harper came down and looked like he might have been on the ball first. We'll look at that strike again, though. That was a major league pop they put on little Sylvester Stamps. Might be Monger.
58, Matt Monger is the guy who looks like he makes the initial hit. And Stamps is not a big guy. Ooh, that's a real hit. Bobby Humphrey also there. And Harper makes the fumble recovery. It's starting to rain here in Atlanta, not just touchdown passes.
So it wasn't lights out earlier. It may be very soon now with Ken O'Brien ready to go to the end zone again, quite possibly. First down for the Jets at the 26-yard line of Atlanta after they force a fumble on the opening play of the 3rd quarter. Jets go to the run, and Freeman McNeil takes it down to the 20-yard line where linebacker Reggie Wilkes knocked him down.
Don, with the way the Atlanta Falcons play football, you pretty much got to say that this game is over. I mean, the first series of the second half, they are not a big play team. We've documented that. They don't get yards in big clumps. They get it 2, 3, 4, 5 yards at a time as the umbrellas go up now in Fulton County Stadium.
Rain starts to fall hard. The arc lights are on as the Jets have it 2nd down and a long 4. McNeil weaves down close to the 19-yard or to the 16-yard line. He'll be just short of a 1st down. Reggie Wilkes again was on the tackle. There was great enthusiasm here in Atlanta at the outset of the season with that 4-0 start after consecutive 4-12 years. New defensive coordinator turned things around, and David Archer played some standout quarterback. Then against probably the toughest schedule in the NFL, the Falcons started to falter on offense. And now, if they lose this one, they'll have only 1 victory in their last 6 games after that 4-0 start. 1-3-1. They had a tie game with the 49ers over the last 5 weeks. O'Brien makes the connection to Wesley Walker for a 1st down. And now Ken O'Brien is 3 short of the record. And he certainly didn't go to a dump-off to try to get there. Right through coverage, he threw it.
3 short of tying Ken Anderson's record. The thing about O'Brien is he's just so cool. Don, look at him scan the field. He has confidence in his offensive line for protection. He's looking everywhere. He senses. Good quarterbacks have that feel for when he's got to get rid of it. And there always seems to be a receiver open.
O'Brien again looks into the end zone. This could be a tough one. He puts it down, and it's incomplete. And so he comes up short of the record on this brilliant day for Ken O'Brien. Broken up in the end zone on a good play by the cornerback David Crudip.
On that ball was on the money too. Absolutely right at the receiver. No question about it. He's looking around again. Finally finds in the corner of the end zone Wesley Walker, but Wesley can't quite hang on to it, so the streak stops at 17. That is a Jet record.
Altoon in the end zone. There's a penalty marker down in the field. It's in the Atlanta secondary. Crudip might have had an illegal bump more than 5 yards downfield.
It looked like Wilkes was not looking back at the football.
Number 30 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
Crudip was the man in coverage, and he wasn't looking back at the football. There's the bump. And when Toon begins to go by, you see Crudip turn around. And you see that arm? I think because Crudip wasn't looking back, the flag is against him.
Remember, we got early word on Altoon. We were at the Cola Bowl a couple years ago, and Jack Bicknell of Boston College was the coach of one team. He had Toon on the team. He says the best football player he'd ever seen.
Certainly proven it so far.
Tony Page tries the middle on 1st and goal. Doesn't get much. It'll be 2nd and goal from about the 3-yard line as Mike Gann and Reggie Wilkes combined on the stop for Atlanta.
The numbers to this point for Ken O'Brien: 18 of 20, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns. He came into the game as the NFL's #1 rated quarterback. He's going to break the meter.
That's right. He's going to go up into the 120s off what he's done today. 98 rating last season to lead the league. 107 rating today through the first 9 games of this year. Freeman McNeil gets a block, and Freeman McNeil goes in standing up as the Jets have their 4th touchdown of this day and extend their lead to 27-0.
I think they just took the whip right out of the Atlanta Falcons. You can see the sideline. One of the things that the Jets like to do with number 49, Tony Page, lead blocker in short yardage situations.
You got 2 people.
Drives right at the legs of Bryan and Gann, cuts them off. Bryan and Casillas. That's a relatively easy run for a touchdown by Freeman McNeil.
Now Pat Leahy with the point after attempt. Let's watch the touchdown, the first on the ground today for the Jets, and the Falcons have given up very few of those this season.
Good job of pulling by the offensive line. They get a nice big bow in the defensive line, and McNeil scores standing.
Here at Hewlett-Packard.
With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at Atlanta, Georgia. What was a bright, warm day now turning into a rainy afternoon as the Jets, who come off their best performance of this outstanding season, 38-7 win at Seattle a week ago, are probably even better today with a 28-0 lead early in the third quarter over Atlanta. Here comes Stamps. Remember, he coughed it up on the opening kickoff return of the third quarter, and the Jets go for the ball again. 26-yard return. Patriots back in the game now, coming in 2 games back of the Jets in the AFC East. Chicago extending its lead at Tampa Bay. Rams having a problem with the Saints in New Orleans. And Cincinnati having a bigger one with Houston. Buffalo and Pittsburgh getting interesting now. Bills holding to a 1-point lead.
What do the Falcons do now? Raining. They're 28 points behind. They run the ball well.
Phone it in. Down 28-0. Archer buying some time with the rollout. Ephraim can't get to him, and David Archer nicely dances out of bounds with the game.
And the Falcons started this drive at their own 28. That was their best field position to start a drive of the day. As Joe Klecko, you can see that knee brace on his left knee, kind of playing on one leg. Not really gotten into the second half yet. He needs surgery on that left leg. That's a foot race that Joe Klecko won't win.
Former NFL Defensive Player of the Year back in '81. He should get it again this year, the way he's been going.
Been all-pro at defensive end, defensive tackle, and now nose tackle.
Archer on 2nd and 5. Open man is Wisenhunt, puts a little too much on it. And so it goes to 3rd and 5 in the rain in Georgia for the Falcons, who are down 28-0 to the 8-1 New York Jets.
Isn't there a song like that? Rainy night in Georgia?
It's been a rainy month in Georgia for the Falcons. They've lost it on offense.
About to go 1-4-1. And it's coming down here in Atlanta. Klecko said before the game he hoped it rained. I said, why? And he said, I like playing in the mud. I like to get dirty. Well, the other thing is, too, the Jets are somewhat superstitious. They didn't like coming in here and wearing their green tops. I have a feeling O'Brien would like to wear green tops everywhere they play.
They've really turned into an artificial turf team, the Jets. This, as we mentioned, their first game on grass this season. Doesn't matter. Stamps coughs it up again. Falcons get it back, though, at their 28-yard line. But it's 4th down, and Atlanta has to punt it.
I think David Archer recovered that.
Might have been.
This is a sweep to the right, but he breaks it. It looks like there's a spot there for him to go. When he turns back, that's where the big guys are. 26, Lester Lyles gets the ball loose, and Archer does make the recovery.
Jets, with that earlier fumble recovery, have 15 for the season. They lead the NFL. Donnelly, the punter, hits it long spiral into the rain. Townsend takes it, lets it roll back now, and goes. Did it go in?
No, that is a touchback. The guy in the end zone touched the football. That was a 71-yard punt. If he doesn't touch it at all, then the Jets have it at about the 1-inch line.
Something good for the Falcons, a 71-yard punt.
Got to the 20. Sylvester Stamps touched the ball while he was in the end zone, but right there, the ball does touch the end line, and that is a touchback Jets ball, 1st and 20. 1st and 10 at their 20.
It's interesting, Trump. The Atlanta defense has allowed only 1 touchdown in each of the last 3 games.
Not today.
They're down 28 points put up by the Jet offense against the Atlanta defense. The other New England points last week were scored on special teams problems.
Well, look at the effect that the Jets had on Seattle, as you mentioned earlier. Jets beat Seattle up bad last week. This week getting beat by the Kansas City Chiefs.
The prize in next spring's NFL draft will be Miami quarterback Vinny Testaverde. The Colts have the lead with an 0-9 record, but they're playing well today and could go to 1-9 if they hold on.
In games against Denver and New England, the New York Jets began the game with a real fury, scoring on their first 4 possessions. Look at the last 4 possessions the Jets have had today.
Look at the few number of plays it took to get in the end zone.
And the yards they accumulated.
So it's all going right for the Jets and Coach Joe Walton, much like it did for the Chicago Bears last year, except that one Monday night game in Miami. Home field means everything in the playoffs. The Jets, of course, in head-to-head competition with the other best record team, Denver, had the lead on that basis. They beat Denver. The world of difference between playing the playoff game at Giant Stadium for the Jets or going to Mile High. Right now, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
And this is WSVN, Channel 7, Miami, Fort
We're at
Lauderdale.
Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where the Jets are rolling, come in with 7 straight wins and well on their way to a 8th consecutive victory, leading the Atlanta Falcons 28-0. As Ken O'Brien, the Jet quarterback, put on a phenomenal show in the first half, hitting 17 of 18 passes for 221 yards. Now he throws again and makes another connection to his tight end, Mickey Schuler, who's ahead for a first down. Bryan with 3 first-half touchdown throws. Now, while we have a moment, let's go to NFL 86. Ahmad?
All right, Don, in Buffalo, after trailing 13-6, Pittsburgh's Mark Malone finds Ouija Thompson on this 11-yard strike. They missed their second extra point on the day. They trail Buffalo 13-12, third quarter.
Thank you, Ahmad. There was a 14-yard gain on the throw to Mickey Schuler. Freeman McNeil goes at the Falcon defenders. Casillas was on the staff along with linebacker Reggie Wilkes.
Now the rest of this ball game is going to be the high percentage offense. Run it and only throw it on third downs and only throw it deep enough to pick up the first down. This one's over. We can pack our bags and head out of here. The Jets have done it again. Continued their incredible string of luck.
Second down and 6. The Jets go back to the run, and taking it right at the Falcon defense is Freeman McNeil. Looks like he has a first down.
Jets scored 21 points in the second quarter. In case you just tuned in the first half, O'Brien was 18 of 20 for 233 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Jets didn't run the ball particularly well. That's the thing that's so impressive about this ball club, Don. 1 week it's the passing game, the next week it's the running game, the next week it's the defense. I mean, whatever aspect of the Jets team needs to perform on that particular weekend, they do it, and do it convincingly.
Joe Walton has called off the Hounds now, just going to the running game here in the second half as the clock is down to 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Johnny Hector runs the ball and Mike Pitt stops him.
He's going to be very, very safe with his players. He's already got injuries. He gets Fields back next week. Defensively, it's a chance for some of his defensive players to get well. I don't imagine we'll see much of Klecko anymore. A lot of new people coming in all over the place. Billy Griggs comes in at tight end, and Cleaver goes off. That's what you got to guard against. This is week 10. There are 6 weeks left. On the left-hand side of the screen, we might be able to see exactly what happened to Cleaver. You see his knee gets rolled up on. That happens so much now in the NFL. You can't stand around out there. Be a moving target.
Jets drive on, though, as the replacement comes in on 2nd and 8. O'Brien dumps it off and gets it to Tony Page, and he has a Jet first down. Blitz on Ken O'Brien, stood in against it and lofted the ball to the runner coming out of the backfield, and the Jets get another first down.
Buddy Curry makes the tackle, an 8-yard pickup. Once again, great vision of the field by O'Brien. Looks downfield, originally intended for Wesley Walker. I thought he was the primary. He still has the presence of mind to look underneath and find Page for a reception.
It'll be interesting to see, Trump, if the Jets go to back up Pat Ryan before long. Ken O'Brien has had a knee strain that's kept him out. Missed the New England game. Second New England game. Jets won it with Pat Ryan at quarterback. They go back to the run. Freeman McNeil runs the ball as the Jets go now down to a very basic gun the ball at the defense offense.
Well, the thing is, though, Don, you don't want Pat Ryan in a mop-up situation. You would prefer, and he did an excellent job against the New England Patriots, and you send him in long relief here. I don't know what it does to his confidence. They can't afford to get him hurt either.
Yeah, the Falcons might be down 28-0 now, but they have a defense that's got a lot of good people, and they're in ill humor right now.
I don't think they can do anything about it, though, Don. The Jets have dominated that much and taken them out of the game.
Johnny Hector gets down to the 27-yard line. Mike Pitts makes the stop for Atlanta. One thing that has to be said in Joe Walton's credit, he was 2 years offensive coordinator of the Jets. Got the head coaching job, had a 7-9 year. 7-9 year followed that, and the pressure was on. He never made an excuse. And last year, the Jets moved to 11-5, went to the playoffs, lost to the Patriots, who, of course, whipped everybody on the way to the Super Bowl. This year, the Jets are off to the best start in the franchise history. Johnny Hector runs. Falcons still pounding away. The defense won't quit, even though the team is out of the game.
One of the things that Marion Campbell likes to do with his defense is set his linebackers real deep, and their first step is at the line of scrimmage. You can see already that Rady and Courier kind of softening up a little bit. They've been attacking that line of scrimmage for a long time. It's kind of worn them out. Nothing has gone right today for the Atlanta Falcons. They're even going to have to use extra detergent on the uniforms. They got them dirty.
Now long field goal try. It'll be a 46-yarder by Pat Leahy, with Pat Ryan holding. 20 on it. But he's wide. So the Jets don't connect, and with 3:29 left to play, the Falcons get the ball.
Howdy. Give me a light.
Sunday in week 11 of the NFL season, the Seahawks go to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, who started this day as one of the co-leaders with Cleveland in the AFC Central Division. Miami's at Buffalo. Houston goes into Pittsburgh. Those are the early starting games. NFL 86 begins the day at 12:30 Eastern Time. A great array of doubleheader games. Kansas City, a rising team, goes into Denver. Patriots go out to play the Rams at Anaheim. Browns took up for the Raiders. Here's a throw in the flat. Charlie Brown catches the ball, and he has the first down for Atlanta. And now let's go to Ahmad Rashad at NFL 86. Ahmad.
All right, Don, in Indianapolis, Tony Eason finds Irving Fryer in the end zone, a 2-yard touchdown pass. Irving Fryer juggles the ball here a little bit, but after this act, he holds on. The Patriots rally back 20-14, New England, third quarter.
Patriots looking to go to 7-3. Jets will hook up with the Colts in their next game. And the Falcons have to take on the Bears here in Atlanta. David Archer in the rain on 1st and 10. Floyd Dixon coming off the flank takes it down to the 46-yard line of the Jets.
Kyle Clifton on the tackle. He's an important member of that defense. Now without Mel, Lance Mel out with knee surgery. Got to fill big shoes. Nice little slant run by Dixon. Well thrown by Archer. On that last drive by the New York Jets, they didn't score any points, but it took 7 minutes and 38 seconds off the clock. Exactly what the Falcons did not want.
Falcons looking to find that early season magic they had on offense. Archer, deep drop. Gastineau coming hard, and there's a strike again against Dixon, and this time he's down to the 20-yard line. Floyd Dixon, the rookie. Kyle Clifton was on the play way downfield for the Jets. Falcons get a 26-yard gain, though.
Jets pretty much going to play the deep zones here. They're not really going to try a lot of their fancy stuff. Clifton, again, is just looking, reading the quarterback's eyes. And when Dixon makes the catch, Clifton is close. Holmes able to come in and help on the tackle. First down, Atlanta. Remember, the Jets have not allowed a rushing touchdown yet in 1986. when the Falcons get down close, that's what they do.
The 1 weak area the Jets have had, they've been burned with the deep ball. They've given up 20 touchdown passes coming into this game. But the Jets have a shutout going today. Archer looking for points. Into the end zone. Touchdown Atlanta. The big guy, Arthur Cox, is open.
20 yards. And the 21st touchdown pass the Jets have given up in 1986. But still, no rushing touchdowns, which is remarkable. This is a slot. Plenty of time. Puts it up. Miles almost gets his hands up there to knock the ball away. But nice catch by Cox, and Atlanta finally in the end zone.
They don't go to Big Arthur often. When they do, he appreciates it. That's his first touchdown of the season. With 1:44 left to go in the third quarter. Luckers gets the extra point, so the Falcons move quickly. 71 yards in just 4 plays and get their first points of the day.
Listen to the heart.
1969 was the last and only time the Jets have been in the Super Bowl. They have a defensive coordinator, Trump, and Bud Carson, who's been there 3 times with the winner for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll help.
He was also there with the Rams. Radakovich was there with the Rams. They got a lot of coaches who have experience coaching the Super Bowl, but I don't think they have any players. I repeat what we said at the outset, that I think Bud Carson and Joe Walton would like to have his players, all their players, not read the papers and not watch television or listen to what the people are going to say, because this has got to be the AFC's favorite for the Super Bowl right now.
Bobby Humphrey runs it back now for the Jets. Falcons got no quit in him, boy. These dogs are hitting.
Been a while since we had something good to say about Atlanta. That touchdown by Archer to Cox. Well-run pattern. And I think you can accuse the Jets of being just a little bit soft in their coverage here. Trying to go the easy route, just knock the ball away. Certainly in control, 28-7. But that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I've never, maybe the most unbelievable stat I've ever seen.
O'Brien. And a waffling hit by Buddy Curry. Mickey Schuler made the catch and paid.
Guy with the pressure up front. Got him all over the place. Buddy Curry coming on a blitz. You see everybody lined up there. O'Brien stands right in there. I take that back. It's Rick Bryan right in his chest. 77. And then Buddy Curry really puts Schuler to the ground.
You've been down that road, turning your back on the linebacker.
Those hurt. You feel those on the plane.
The place has really come alive. The rain has sent some of the people home, as has the score, but the Falcon faithful are cheering their defense on. And right now, the Jets go to the run and get the ball out across the 15-yard line. Reggie Wilkes was on the stop of Freeman McNeil, as the game clock is down to 42 seconds and running in the third quarter with the Jets in the lead 28-7.
Unfortunately, Fulton County Stadium beginning to take on the look of Fulton County Stadium late in the season when the Braves play.
Listen to this place, though.
Well, for $20, you got to come and do something. Cheer.
This is the first time they've cheered all day. Third down, about 5. O'Brien stands in and dumps it off to Johnny Hector. But the Falcons get him at the 20. He did not get the first down. So Atlanta will get the ball back on a punt as the third quarter is going to wind out. Scott Case came up and made the play. That is the end of the third quarter with a score. The Jets 28, the Falcons 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Monday, when Alf gets a message from space, will he stay with his new family?
Bob Crumpy back in rainy Atlanta, Georgia, where the Jets now lead 28-7, but have to punt the ball back to the Falcons. Atlanta coming alive late in this game. We're now ready to start the fourth quarter. Falcons scored, went 70 yards, 71 yards in a 4-play drive the last time they had the ball. Now they've stopped the Jets. And Dave Jennings, who's not had a punt return in his last 16 punts, ready to boot it downfield. Where the very quick Joey Jones is waiting for the Falcons. Big rush, not too long. Jones lets it roll. It takes a jet hop. Now he picks it up. No fair catch signal. Jet special teams coverage is good. Matt Munger was down again to make the play for the Jets covering the kick. New England rallying from way behind at Indianapolis today to take a 20-14 fourth quarter lead. Chicago continues to lead Tampa Bay. First points of the day at the Superdome, and the Saints lead the favored Rams 6-0. Kansas City laying waste to Seattle. Chiefs off to their best start since their last playoff year in '71, looking to go 7-3. They're cheering loudly here in Atlanta for the Falcons, even though they're down 28-7. Archer looking downfield. Throwing a catch. Lost ball then knocked away from Charlie Brown, but a marker goes down in the secondary.
I think that's going to be defensive holding, Don. The tight end, Arthur Cox, was held up all the way down the line of scrimmage when he released off the ball. It is holding against the Jets. Jets kind of sitting back on their haunches here.
Holding, number 50 on the defense. First down.
That's Bob Crable, the linebacker. I think he had Cox in coverage on the line of scrimmage. He's all over him there. You see it right at the left-hand side of the screen. They caught him. First down, Falcons.
Among those still here among the loyal on this rainy day is the commissioner of the National Football League, Pete Rozelle, and Mrs. Rozelle, Carey. They're sitting with Falcons owner Rankin Smith. Here is a handoff. It goes up the middle, and the Falcons run the ball for a first down. They take it down to the 45-yard line of the Jets. Bob Crable made the stop as the Falcons are getting their first offense in 5 games of any note.
Gerald Riggs with the carry. I noticed that the oldest player in the NFL is in. Jeff Van Oat, the center for the Atlanta Falcons, number 57. This will be his last year, but one of the real grizzled veterans in the NFL.
Charlie Brown is on the near flank at the lower portion of your screen. Dixon, a flyer up at the top. Loop swing pass, and Riggs blew his assignment. Never swung out.
The stats for both teams. Jets have outrushed the Falcons. Falcons come into the ball game leading the NFL in time of possession offensively. And the passing yards and the 3 touchdowns by Ken O'Brien, a big difference in the ball game.
Second down and 10 coming out. Archer is 14 for 20 for 226 yards and a touchdown. A good day for David Archer. Only 7 points to show for it. On the run again. Baldwin after him. Nice block. And he dumps the ball off short and very wisely threw it beneath his receiver because it would have resulted in a loss. Arthur Cox starts up with somebody.
Bennett really got hammered. And that quarterback rolls around back there. Offensive linemen try to help as best they possibly can.
Glenn Howe picks him off. 71. It's a real smash hit.
Didn't quite see it at the end. Ball underthrown. You can see people arguing all over the place now. That's more a product of the score than anything else.
Archer has to hit this throw to keep the drive alive. It is 3rd down and 10 for Atlanta. Ball position at the 45-yard line of the Jets. 28-7 New York. 4th quarter. Home run ball. Charlie Brown going for it. No flag.
There was contact there.
Russell Carter seemed to be pushing downfield. Falcon fans don't like it, but the official running right along with the play says no.
There was contact all the way down the field. Archer is trying to lobby. And the thing about it is when you go on a losing streak, as the Falcons have been, you don't get calls this way.
Henning, the Falcon coach, just waved his punt team back to the bench. They're going to go for it on 4th down. 4th and 10.
You can see Holmes has got his arm out there on Charlie Brown. Both are looking back at the football. Excuse me, Carter. I think they probably call that incidental contact.
Might go right back to the same thing.
You think so?
Got to get something deep. 4th down and 10 now for the Falcons. 13:49 to play. 28-7 Jets. Broken up beautifully. Carl Howard came up and made the play, an extra defensive back. Perfectly timed hit by Carl Howard, so the Falcons go for it in 4th down and don't get it. Lloyd Dixon was the intended receiver.
This will come right at us. Howard behind the receiver. Contact before the ball gets there? I think so.
Might have been.
Another flag not thrown against the Jets. Some years it goes that way.
This baby will blow the doors off anything on the road.
Don Crickey with Bob Crumpy back at Atlanta Stadium. The Jets now with 1st and 10. Their 45-yard line. Brian's been running the ball. He's looking for some more. And he's got a man downfield inside the 35-yard line. Mickey Schuler goes up and comes down with the ball. Robert Moore, a rookie strong safety, trying to cover. Schuler screened him off and took it away.
And this has been an incredible day for Ken O'Brien. Once again, he just scans the defense. Schuler goes up and gets it. That for O'Brien is his 23rd completion in 25 attempts. He's now close to 92%. NFL record is 90.1, held by Ken Anderson, 20 for 22 in that Houston game where he had 20 straight.
Johnny Hector running, and the Falcons trying to strip the football. Do not on a 1st down carry. Got a couple of yards inside to about the 33-yard line.
And this is the other thing that Joe Walton likes. The Jets are now 2-0 in November and December in 1986. That follows other seasons where in 83 they were 3-4. 84 they were 1-6. Last year 5-3. And this year 2-0 and looking darn good at 2-0 in November and December.
Jets have known the down times. They went one stretch of 11 years before they had a team over 500. Won the Super Bowl in January '69. Downfield throw, and Toon almost takes it away. Hand down the ball at the 5 and lost it. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Jets, after they won the Super Bowl in January of 1969, finished 10-4 the 1969 regular season, then went 11 years before they were over 500.
That was the first poorly thrown pass by Ken O'Brien today, Don. That one was thrown too high. Toon had to stretch. Toon had to stretch too much to try to catch it.
It's your friends, the Bengals, here, leading the division, in trouble.
Why are they my friends? I just lived there.
Played for him for 10 years.
Did that.
You're close to Paul Brown.
Oh, we are.
Downfield throw to Wesley Walker, and it's split in the end zone as 3 Falcons converge.
O'Brien down.
And O'Brien is down. Now, we're wondering, wouldn't go to Pat Ryan, but those Falcons in ill humor, and the guys throwing for their end zone down 28-7. They're going to get him if they can. They just got him. He's going off.
That's the point.
But he's up.
It looks like it's none of his appendages. He gets a shot right in the head. Dennis Harrison gets him on the ground. First time that he's thrown 2 straight incompletions today. This was a jump ball here. Nobody wins.
Falcons have some of those debutantes in that defensive line that'll put you in the hospital. Bigfoot Harrison.
With a lot less irritation than 28-7.
Dave Jennings in to punt the ball for the Jets. Well hit. Very high.
Flag roughing the punter.
If they hit, they didn't get the ball, but they did get Jennings, so the Jets will get a 1st down.
I think it's Brett Miller who ran into him. I take that back. Tim Tyrell. There's a little acting job here with Dave Jennings, but once that foot is up in the air, he's protected. You see Tyrell tries to hold him up. Jennings will have no part of that. That extends the drive. Automatic 1st down. Hand it in me.
Whatever it takes.
And O'Brien comes back in the ball game.
He went out briefly this season, missed a game when he had a knee strain. I think they scoped it, didn't they? They did not. They thought about scoping it.
Looked into it. That's correct.
Freeman McNeil takes the ball at the Falcons on a first down carry. Jets now running the clock down to 11:50 as Rick Bryan made the stop. The owner of the Falcons, Rankin Smith, has been the head man here since the team came into the league in 1966 in his expansion franchise. Changed coaches a lot over the years and said after a second straight 4-12 season last year, we've changed coaches in the past. All we've done is go back to square run. We're going to keep the coach and see if we can't upgrade the team. They brought in a new defensive coordinator. Got off to a 4-0 start. They'll be 5-4-1 after today's game. It's a big improvement. Here's almost an intercepted ball. O'Brien hasn't thrown one of those in recent memory in the last 3 games.
Scott Case took a shot at Mickey Schuler right at the head. Schuler didn't like it one bit. It was 25 on 82. The strange thing is here, leading 28-7, Joe Walton calls the plays. Seems to me he's putting some of his players here in jeopardy. You can be a little safer about this.
He might have kicked at Schuler here.
Now watch what happens at the end of this.
Just tried kicking him.
You'll see Case come from, and then Schuler. Case is trying to rub it in, and Schuler gets him on the ground, and then Case.
Isn't a kung fu shot?
Yeah, trying to.
That's a pretty good one.
So will the flag be on Atlanta, or will it be on both teams? They're going to stop and try to decide there in group who did what first.
I think they might wish it wasn't a thrown. Red Cashin hearing all the information.
Unnecessary roughness on the defense and the offense. They're on set.
Then why call the penalties? Then why call the penalties?
I think it's a good call.
No, they shouldn't call the penalties. If they're going to be offsetting, nothing is accomplished.
Each guy kicked the other guy, so I think.
Yeah, well, then throw them both out. Don't call a penalty. Throw them both out.
We want to have a good game.
Win. Starting now.
Wilt Chamberlain never fouled out. You know, people didn't pay to see him on the bench. Not that Scott Case is a Wilt this league. Schuler almost had it. There's a guy with a lot of heart. Mickey Schuler. He never looked back at the defense, which was coming hard right at him.
It was Scott Case again, too, number 25. Herman Edwards also there in coverage. O'Brien once again getting up off the ground. They're getting a lot of people up in his face. See Sweeney there standing up in that Dan Radakovich lockout. The pressure from the outside, both sides. That's a valuable commodity there, getting his uniform dirty.
Now 43-yard field goal attempt by Pat Leahy, who's in the midst of a big season. Leahy has hit 11 of 13 this season, missed one today. He's been effective long. He's 1 for 1 over 50. 4 of 6 is himself from the 40 to the 49.
Block.
That won't get there. Joe Costello, a linebacker, picks it up. Does his best with the ball. Falcons get it back, trailing 28-7 with 11:06 to play in the game here at Atlanta, Georgia.
Team, you can see the hands go up at the line of scrimmage, and it appears to us it's Dennis Harrison. Gets pressure up through the center, gets his hands up, blocked kick, and the Falcons take over.
Trailing 28-7, a lot of time left though. 11:06 to play in the game. Marker goes down as Floyd Dixon goes around end and doesn't get much. Larry Holmes runs him out of bounds. Might be a penalty on Joe Klecko.
Offsides defense.
Might have a bad knee, but he's as quick as he ever was. There's the commissioner of the NFL, Pete Rozelle, his wife Carrie, and the red suspenders, and his Falcon red is Rankin Smith. Mrs. Smith. So you were saying, Bob, one thing about the commissioner, you got to stay till the end.
Yeah, when you visit a team, regardless of score, you got to stay until the final tick on the clock. None of this leaving early.
Riggs, the power runner, is in the Falcon backfield on 1st down and 5. bring him out. Can't make the turn, but he does get a hit for 3 or 4 yards. Troy Benson ran him out with Holmes. Big difference, as we were mentioning earlier, in this Jet team a year ago. They were a 500 team on the road. They finished 4-4 on the road on the way to an 11-5 season. And now with today's victory, presuming they get it, the Jets will go to 5-0, and they will be the only NFL team with an unbeaten road record in '86.
They've won in some tough places too. Seattle, I think that's not a tough place to win.
New England.
New England.
Riggs breaks it. First down for the Falcons. Big back from Arizona State, and his school, of course, will be going to the Rose Bowl. You see the Sun Devils on NBC Sports in the 1987 Rose Bowl against, in all probability, the winner of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Joe Klecko down. He's been troubled, that left knee.
He's holding it, too.
Franchise player.
That's the one with the knee brace. When you play in the middle of the offensive line like that, I'm telling what might happen. Looks like it just, it kind of turned out on him a little bit. He is a valuable commodity.
Oh, is he? Unbelievable.
Good thing he had that knee brace on.
So while Joe Klecko is attended to, there's a break here in Atlanta.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever.
How much Joe Klecko's knee was taped. On top of that tape was a knee brace. And he has a knee that will require surgery when the season's over for some cartilage damage. But on that particular play, he got a double team block to center Radloff, and the left guard Scully, number 61, kind of got his weight out over his left knee, and it twisted slightly. Going to take, yeah, that's Mark Gastineau shaking his head. He too is hurt. Marty Lyons we've not seen since the second half. You see all the players standing there looking to see if they can find something. One thing about Joe Klecko, Don, around the league, he has everyone's respect as a clean player. Watch what happens. He plants that left foot, picks it up. When he puts it down again, that's when they seem to cave him in. That's when the guard hits him and rotates him over the outside of that knee. Actually, it's good, one, that he's playing on grass, even though his foot stuck. Two, that he has that knee brace on. No idea how severe the injury might be. But he's an important member of that defense. An extremely important member. Bud Carson told me before the ball game that they weren't sure how long Klecko could go today. Obviously, one play too long.
Well, you don't know the seriousness of it. That was one of the reasons they kept him out last week at Seattle, because of the artificial turf field. The knee was still a little bit tender. But you said he does need arthroscopic surgery for cartilage, and now...
until now. So I don't know if it's worse. I don't know if it aggravated the problem or anything. Joe said, I'm all right. Let me get up here. But he went down in a heap.
So on this a day when the Jets will bring their record to 9-1. And as outstanding as Ken O'Brien and Al Toon are, this is probably the Jets' most valuable player. He keys the whole defense, Joe Klecko.
See how much weight he can put on it. Generally, that's an indication of just how bad the knee might be. Ooh, he's pretty ouchy. Well, you can bend it around that much. It's not bad.
Doesn't look too good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he's a gutty. They're going to carry him off the field now. They ought to wrap him in styrofoam. It'll be a couple of 3 days before anybody knows just how serious that is, but that certainly puts a damper on a 28-7 score and an 8th win in a row.
Very unfortunate development for the Jets in the midst of a brilliant season, as Joe Klecko, their leader on defense, their all-pro nose tackle, goes down with the re-injury of his left knee.
Don, it looked like right there on the left-hand side of the picture that's Marty Lyons right there with a sling on his shoulder. See right there, left-hand side of the screen? Keep going left, right there, right behind the official. And that Lyons, I can't see. That is Marty Lyons. He's got a sling on his shoulder, so that's 2 starters on the sideline with injuries, and Mark Gastineau out there playing with a bad abdominal pull.
New England said it was the hardest hitting team they played against. They lost a lot of players, including one of the best linebackers in the league, Andre Tippett, to a knee injury. England losing to Tippett when they beat the Falcons last week. Here's a dump pass off to Arthur Cox, who holds on. The ball will be advanced just over the 40 to the 42-yard line. New England, after trailing early today, finally blows out Indianapolis. Chicago in command at Tampa Bay. Rams still having a problem trailing the Saints in the fourth quarter. Kansas City rolling over Seattle. Houston continues to beat favored Cincinnati. Washington up on Green Bay in the fourth quarter. Minnesota holding to a 7-point lead over the Lions, and the Bills with a 4-point advantage over the Steelers at Buffalo. Here at Atlanta, it is a 28-7 game. Jets in the league.
Jackson offside.
Markers go down with 10:10 left to play.
Charles Jackson left early. That's pretty easy, so it'll be a first down for the Falcons. Drive will remain alive.
Scheduling in the weeks ahead for the Jets. They go home to play Indianapolis next Sunday. Then they're off to Miami. Then they play the Rams at home.
Number 55 on the defense. First down.
Early report on Joe Klecko, a twisted left knee, and he will not return today.
Pack it in ice. Put him on crutches. He's moving it around pretty good, though. But when you get cartilage loose in your knee, there's Cleaver. There's Cleaver, 89, with ice on his knee. It starts clicking on you a little bit, grabbing in there. That's no fun.
Archer on 1st and 10. Long ball. And an interception. A spectacular play by cornerback Jerry Holmes. It's not done. Marker goes down on a Jet block on the return.
Troy Benson clip. So the Jets will get the ball back, but it'll be half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Holmes has got the receiver covered all the way. Archer doesn't throw it bad. He doesn't have much choice. He's got to throw it. Charlie Brown, the intended receiver. Holmes, the interception. That's his second of the season. And there's the clip right there. Troy Benson, 54, on Charlie Brown, the receiver. Anytime you can take a shot on a quarterback, you take a shot, although that's a friendly shot by Barry Bennett. Stay where you are, Archer. Stay where you are. I won't hit you, Bennett says. Stay where you are. Just stay there.
Well, I'm thinking about it.
Yep, yep.
Back to live action now. Jets on first down. Here's O'Brien from his 2. And here's Al Toon out to the 22-yard line for a first down.
Wait a minute. I'd say we now go with 2 tight ends and start running the football. You don't want to rub it in here. Once outside the 20-yard line, then you can go to your normal offense. Is he now in jeopardy?
You know, in light of what we've just seen with Joe Klecko, it is surprising that Ken O'Brien, the quarterback, is still in the game, playing on a game knee also.
Well, if he just hands off, it's all right.
He's taken some pops in this game.
Yes, he has.
O'Brien. And the minute they can unload again, they're going to do it.
He really took some shots last year, too. Began the season with the Raiders sacking him 10 times. I mean, if I were Ken O'Brien, they call a pass play. I can audible at the line of scrimmage. I go to Freeman McNeil.
If ever a team looked like they were gone early, it was the Jets last year when they were just annihilated at the LA Coliseum, losing 30-0. Then they come back and go 11-5 for the year and go to the playoffs.
Look at this, another pass.
Page runs the ball on the reception out to the 31-yard line on a 2nd down and 9 play. It brings up 3rd and about 2.5 for the Jets. Jets in the lead, 28-7.
How'd they do today, guys? Well, I'll tell you, these guys are hot, aren't they?
We watched their passing game, a 7-on-7 drill when they warmed up here yesterday. It looks even better when they're playing against an NFL defense.
Yeah, I agree. O'Brien, 25 of 31, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, and still on his feet.
still in the process of upsetting the Los Angeles Rams, leaders of the NFC West. Seattle could be in trouble, going down to their 4th loss in the last 5 games, blown out 2 weeks in a row. Buffalo looks like they might get a win under their new coach, Marv Levy.
Timeout. The snapper wanted to change footballs.
Your old friend Hank Bulla.
He wasn't treated too kindly there, was he?
Took the sails out of his wind. Hank, a master of the malaprop, said about the Bills, we're making a lot of mistakes to lose games, but we're getting better at it.
At the mistakes or winning games?
I think he meant we're getting better as a team. So they're 2 great runners. They looked at the draft list last year. Jackson down at Auburn and that Bonaparte kid at Navy. Bring Napoleon McCallum.
Interesting about Dan Alexander, his start today makes him the all-time leader in consecutive starts, except for that guy, Winston Hill, number 75.
He will beat you at tennis also.
I wonder what Winston Hill weighs now. Played at about 280.
He looks pretty good. I saw him not last day. He's a huge guy with very tremendous agility. Dan Alexander would really have to play about over 3 full seasons without missing a game to catch up to Winnie Hill.
But he's second. Interesting that Alexander is the only
full seasons.
The only guy on the offensive line still playing the same spot he did last year. Dan Radakovich has changed everybody. Fields is hurt, of course. When he gets back, then 2 guys, Alexander and Fields, will be in the same spot as last year.
7:20 to go in the game. David Archer takes a look and stamps. Did he get it on the 1 hop? He did, and thought maybe nobody noticed.
Nice shortstop move there. Nice pickup.
Could be a Pyrrhic victory, though, for the Jets. Their best defensive player, the all-pro nose tackle Joe Klecko. A re-injury to his left knee had to be carried from the field. He's on the bench now. Starting defensive end Marty Lyons, who's in the midst of a standout year. He's out with a possibly separated right shoulder. There's Klecko, the knee iced down. One of the tight ends, Rocky Cleaver's on the bench with a knee iced down. Now on 2nd down and 10, the Jets go to 5 defensive backs as the Falcons' David Archer will be ready to throw. Rain has stopped here in Atlanta. Temperature still in the 70s.
Tough kid, intelligent. There aren't many quarterbacks in the NFL that, when scrambling like that, would put their head in there and take a chance. Nice little move. He gets by Ben Rudolph. I don't think you can blame this loss on David Archer. He's thrown 1 interception, scrambled for his life most of the day. Watch him duck inside here. Boy, there's big guys back in there. Not many quarterbacks. Maybe he'll learn that. He's 10-11-1 now as a starter for the Atlanta Falcons in just about 2 years, 2.5 years.
Just got a report from the Jet bench that Joe Klecko aggravated the already troubled cartilage condition in his knee.
Good thing for that knee brace.
Does not seem to be any further damage other than the cartilage problem. Here is Arthur Cox, and he's open. And this truck of a man takes on the defender. Arthur Cox, blasting people, gets down to the 22-yard line.
He was looking for a shot. You see that? He wanted to give somebody a shot. I guess that's all they can do now. It's a 48-yard reception. Watch the end of it.
Full-grown man here.
Watch the end of it. That's Crable in coverage. Runs through his arms.
265 they list him at.
Watch this, though. He gets that arm free. Who's coming? Come on, come on, come on over here. Come on over here. And you know what he did? He hurt his wrist and hurt it bad. He came off the field. I don't think he's still in there, is he?
No, he's on the sideline.
I think he hurt his wrist.
Nobody's looking at his wrist, though, I think. He's going to heal by himself in about 1 play and be back in.
I think he's afraid to show it.
Riggs tries the Jets. Not for very much on a 1st down play, no gain. Falcon fans boo the running attack. They want to see the ball go up into the end zone. It's a 28-7 game, Jets, with 5:12 to play.
He was shaking his, see, he's shaking his wrist there. See there? He may have outsmarted himself. He's wondering, what did I do here? See there? Look at him.
I don't think he could hurt him with an axe.
I think he just hurt himself. Look at that.
Fourth here from Texas Southern. Arthur Cox has the only touchdown today for the Falcons. A reception from Archer. Long ball. Man is open and no penalty marker despite the protests of Charlie Brown.
There should be a flag there too. It looked like Jerry Holmes hit him right at the goal line. Field judge did not call the interference, but there was contact. Watch the end of this reception. You see him get by him. There he holds him a little bit. Gets away with that. Now watch this. Tell me that's not defensive holding? How can you not see that, he's saying? Come on, it's staring you right in the face.
Good second look. Our producer today for NBC Sports is David Neal. Our director, Andy Rosenberg. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. Coordinating producer for football, Ted Nathanson, as Archer drops to throw on 3rd down and 10. A little loop pass up the middle, and it's broken up. It'll be 4th down and 10, and the Falcons will, of course, have to go for it. Big Arthur back in the lineup. Couldn't hold on.
Still shaking his hand. Tried to get loose from Charles Jackson, and then in desperation, Archer throws the ball out there. 4th down play right here. This would be a great place for David Archer to run a design rollout. Run it for the 1st down.
Arthur Cox comes out. Stacy Bailey comes in the lineup now as an extra wide receiver. Floyd Dixon and Bailey are to the right. Wide receiver flank to the left. Joey Jones and Charlie Brown also out of the backfield as Archer goes to the end zone. Incomplete on 4th down, and the Jets take over with 4:22 to play, and the Jets in the lead 28-7 over the Falcons.
Archer got up off the seat of his pants. Was hammered that time. He was trying to make a completion, but that wasn't even close to the receiver.
Trump between NBC television, NBC radio. I think this is the 20th game we've done this season. What's the best team you've seen?
Jets. Absolutely the Jets. The way they took the Atlanta Falcons out of this football game, just as they have in previous weeks, 21-0 going in at halftime. The Falcons can't come in and play the kind of offense, play the kind of football game that they want to play. I mean, the Jets have absolutely dominated. And the Falcons aren't a bad football team. They are now 1-4-1 in their last 6 football games, but
particularly defensively.
And one of the things that Charlie Dayton, the Atlanta Falcons PR director, told us and kept telling us last night, he said, one good thing about our defense, it hasn't given up the big plays. Well, today their first score was 59 yards. Their second score was 46 yards. And the Jets' third score was a 16-yard touchdown pass. So they just destroy you. The Jets just take you apart.
Jets looking to run the game out as the clock is down to 4:15 and running. A lot of games close to being final now. On this 10th Sunday of play, Patriots will go to 7-3 and continue to trail the Jets by 2 games in the AFC East. Chicago goes to 8-2 with a win if they get it at Tampa Bay in the NFC Central. Kansas City off to a 7-3 start with a victory today. Bengals getting back in the game at Houston. Houston can find a way to lose.
Yes, they can and have.
McNeil. The great grass field runner at UCLA playing at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. David Crudip made the stop on Freeman McNeil.
Right now the NFL ought to have automatic boards that come up out of the sides and the end zones so that nobody can get out of bounds. Keep the clock running.
Like a putt within the leather.
That's right. Gimme. This is a gimme. The next 3 minutes and 10 seconds are a gimme. You need them next week, Atlanta, we'll give them to you. Nobody likes that idea, though.
Nobody's bought it yet. This is a 3rd down and 8. O'Brien with the big lead, firing away, and Schuler can't hold on. Coming up to help make the play was Robert Moore, the strong safety guarding the tight end. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC television network.
And this is WSVN, Channel 7, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Jets send their punter in. Dave Jennings on the field once again. Ready to boom the ball downfield. Back deep is Sylvester Stamps.
Falcons' only chance now to try to block this punt.
Jennings having a big day. 4 punts of 43.5 average. Final score from New Orleans. The Saints on 2 Morton Anderson field goals upset the Rams 6-0.
Barber nailed him, didn't he?
Well, the Rams hit their high on Monday night when they beat the Bears at Chicago. But lose. They brought that team down right from Chicago to New Orleans. That might have been a mistake.
Maybe if they had played the game on Bourbon Street, Rams had had a better chance.
Marion Barber shaken up.
This little kid Stamps, about 5'7", 5'8", 160 pounds. When people hit him, he really flies. But this time, Barber seems to hit him wrong. Boom. And stunned him a little bit. He's still on the ground. Back up running back. You wouldn't think a guy that's 5'6" or 5'7", 160 pounds could hurt a guy who was 6'3", 210, 215.
If you didn't see today's game and you just watched the two teams come out of the locker room afterwards, you'd be quite surprised, I think, to hear the Jets were the winner. Fife and drum corps.
Jets are going to have quite a few guys on crutches. Certainly no doubt about that. That's got to be Joe Walton's biggest concern now, is just keeping everyone healthy for the remainder of the season. I mean, they do go to 9-1, but as we were talking last night, Frank Ramos of the Jets was saying that Joe Walton breaks the season down into 3 parts. It's the first 8 games, and he said everybody's in the race for the first 8 games. Everybody has a chance. And in the next 4, things kind of shuffle and settle. And then in the last 4, you got the people who are in the hunt, trying to stay in the hunt. And he said we've already accomplished what we want in the first half of the season. Now the next 4 games, critically important to our success.
Joe Walton getting a report from the head trainer, Bob Reese, on what went wrong. That dinged. Here's Dan Henning. After 2 4-12 years, the Falcons looked like they were going to be a playoff team at the start. Now their record will drop to 5-4-1 through 10 weeks of play.
Lost by the Rams helps, though.
Rams go to 7-3. Swing to Stamps. Sylvester on the run has a first down for Atlanta out to the 48-yard line.
Get this kid more in the offense. I'm Dan Henning. I try to figure out a package around him the way the Denver Broncos have a package around Vance Johnson. Get him in the offense more.
Free agent player from Jackson State. Now the Jets record a sack way back at the 36-yard line. Coming on a blitz.
Bobby Humphrey's second sack of the day, the 4th by the New York Jets. This is a day he won't soon forget, as I think now the clock has stopped here. Now it starts 2:17, 2:15 going.
Archer on a swing throw to Wisenhunt, and on 2nd and long yardage. 2nd and 18. We get the 2-minute warning now. Back after this.
AT&T, the right choice.
Now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP is quarterback Ken O'Brien of the Jets. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's NFL games. Down the stretch, 2 minutes to play. The Jets in the lead, 28-7. Don Criqui with Bob Humphrey.
Bob who? Bob who?
Bob Humphrey. I knew. We only work together 44 times a year.
Humphrey just made the sack.
But Ken O'Brien could be a Pyrrhic victory. He had a big day, but a lot of players went down.
Yeah, I think last week Ken O'Brien was the player of the week in the Seattle win. Today he's got to be a candidate for the player of the week in the NFL again. 25 of 32, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, and at 1 point, 17 in a row. I mean, this kid is absolutely as hot a quarterback as I've ever seen in the NFL. He's so cool. He's got everything so much in control. He has confidence in his players. And there's Bobby Humphrey. Yeah, I wear 84.
A number they have not retired at Cincinnati.
No, washed it. Bobby Humphrey.
Downfield they go, and catching the ball is Charlie Brown at the 39-yard line. So the Falcons looking to get some more before it's over.
Flag down, Don.
Couple flags down. Stopping the clock with 1:30 to play. Ben Rudolph might have been offsides for the Jets.
I think you got him.
I think our spotter Kim Anderson had him.
I think
offside, number 76 on the defense, still first down.
Ben Rudolph. A lot of people dressed in blue out there, aren't there? And red.
Disguised as those empty seats like the old New York Titans.
This place was packed when the day started. A lot of encouraging from the fans here for the Atlanta Falcons, but the Jets just did it again. Took the home team right out of the football game and did it with 21 points in the second quarter.
Archer on the wet turf loses his footing, but it's not college football. Not down as somebody's on him when the knee is down. Keeps it alive and gets the ball downfield to Floyd Dixon, and it's an Atlanta first down. Well done by the Falcons. They stopped the clock too. Too little too late with a 28-7 number on the board.
I can't tell if he slips here on the turf. No, I think his legs are just tired. He's done a lot of running. That uniform is heavy. It looks like he has AstroTurf shoes on, even though he's playing on natural grass, which is rather common nowadays in the NFL. Looks like his legs gave out a little bit. Yeah, 300-yard day.
Wisenhunt, touchdown Falcons. Ken Wisenhunt, a local favorite, played at Georgia Tech. Played some quarterback there, bulked up, and they made the team as a special teams player and a tight end. So David Archer gets 2 TD throws today, both to tight ends, a 23-yarder.
Second touchdown catch of the season. The Jets are pretty much taking the rest of this game off. This is Bobby Humphrey, 84. That's Bobby Humphrey, 48. Bobby Humphrey in coverage, Don. On Wisenhunt, not quite good enough. And
Bobby Trumpy analyzing.
Yes. I can see where you can confuse this. I'm 6'5" and 230, and he's 5'11" and about 190. I'm white.
With this.
He's black. I wear 84. He wears 48.
You're going to wear this out, aren't you?
No. I'm done with it.
Extra point attempt by Luckhurst is up and good. 1:16 to go, and the Falcons trail 28-14. We're going to NFL 86 immediately following the game to Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, and Paul McGuire. And a report on all the games today. NFL 86 continuing through the 10th week of play as the Jets continue to a 9-1 mark, the best in the league. Denver a late start today. Archer had a tremendous day today.
Yeah, he did. 21-36, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And here's an onside kick, Don. Jets hands team up there.
Field goal kicker Luckhurst is on to try the onside kick. Booms it down. Fight for the ball.
It's loose.
Jets think they have it.
Now's when you need a gun.
I don't know how you can tell.
Now's when you need a gun, a knife, a chain, anything. Jets did get it. Bottom of pileups like that. Now watch what the Jets do here, Don. Very interesting choice. They send blockers out in front and leave people behind to try to Johnny Lynn try to come up with a recovery, but it gets loose from him, and he gets it again. This is a very good idea. See the wedge there? 4 guys up front to try to block those guys coming after, but then it leaves it in the responsibility in the hands of one person, and Johnny Lynn does make the recovery.
And O'Brien going the distance at quarterback as he goes to Tony Page on a first down carry. The Jets, now the Falcons, once get another shot at it, calling a timeout with 1:09 to play. Final score, the Patriots had a rally from behind to beat the Colts in Indianapolis. Colts lead the way towards a possible drafting of Vinny Testaverde, a quarterback that some scouts in the NFL rate as high as John Elway when he came out of Stanford 4 years ago.
Ooh, that's saying something.
Bobby Beathard of Washington is one.
That's saying something.
In fact, Beathard said maybe higher.
Maybe higher.
Washington won today 16-7 over the Green Bay Packers. Buffalo gets a win in its first game under new coach Marv Levy, a 16-12 victory over Pittsburgh. And the Minnesota Vikings having a good year under a guy that waited a long time to get his chance, Jerry Burns, for a victory today over the Lions at Pontiac, Michigan.
There's David Archer. Once again, his number is 21 of 36. 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. But the Falcons don't want those numbers. They can't win with those numbers.
Johnny Hector fighting his way, and again the Falcons call timeout on a 2nd and 8 carry. The Jets only got a couple. Just 6 seconds elapsed here.
I think this is one way the NFL can quicken up some of these games. They take a long time in these timeouts in the last couple of minutes of a half or a game. Just take a timeout, set the ball, and then go again. All you're trying to do is stop the clock, not get a rest.
Our NBC statistician Ross Schneiderman totaling the numbers for Freeman McNeil, who's now run the ball 22 times for 60 yards. Johnny Hector has 40 yards and 12 carries. McNeil hasn't broken the big gainers since he's come back from the elbow problem. He had a dislocated elbow, suffered an early season loss to the New England Patriots.
Well, Don, when you're out for 4 weeks, it pretty much negates all the work you did in spring training and in summer camp, the mini camps. So you got to get yourself back into shape, and you got to get used to also seeing all those bodies fly around you.
Third down and 5. O'Brien with a play fake. Here's a blitz against him. He takes a hard hit. Gets the ball away, though, and the Jets have a first down and more as Johnny Hector weaves his way through the Falcon defense down to the 21-yard line.
Fell down as opposed to going out of bounds. Did not want to stop the clock by going out of bounds. Joel Williams was in the face of Ken O'Brien.
He was more than in the face. He was right on top of him with the shoulder when he brought him down.
The clock continues to run. Let's see when they mark it. When they mark it, you'll see the official go, and that means the Jets have 30 seconds left. They do not have to run a play, Don. Game is over.
So the Jets, off to their best start in history, now extend their club record to an 8th consecutive win. Last week's win at Seattle set the new mark. Previous one had been set in 1969 when the Jets won 6 in a row. Dan Henning, a native New Yorker and a former Jet assistant coach, with his greetings to Joe Walton as its history. The Jets go to 9-1 with the Indianapolis Colts coming to the Jets home field, Giant Stadium, next Sunday. David Archer congratulates O'Brien. The Falcons getting set to take on the Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears as part of their killer schedule. The Falcons with 8 playoff teams in a row. After the Bears, they've got the Rams. They got to go to San Francisco and to Miami.
It doesn't get any easier for Dan Henning. And I'm telling you, when you win, it looks so easy. And today, O'Brien again made it look so easy, throwing it at will against a pretty darn good Atlanta Falcons defense.
Another marvelous day for the top-rated passer in the National Football League, Ken O'Brien. In the first half, he was near perfect. Near the end of the first half, maybe his best throw of the day was this one to Wesley Walker, who came off the right flank, cut to the back of the end zone, and then perfectly thrown ball threaded down the middle. It had to be a perfect throw, and it results in the Jets' 3rd touchdown of the day.
Look at that spiral. Tight spiral, running away from Wesley Walker. He's just on a roll. Zeke Bratkowski said before the game today that he's got a system, and he's never come across anybody who works harder at it. The first guy on the field, the last guy off.
Updated standings in the AFC East. The Jets extend their record to 9-1. 2 games up again on New England Patriots, who rallied today to win at Indianapolis. The Dolphins are a 4-5 team. They'll play at Cleveland tomorrow night. Buffalo wins its 3rd game and its first under the new coach, and the Indianapolis Colts fall to 0-10. With the Jets on the road coming up next week. Colts are on the road. Jeff Van Note still crazy after all these years. How many years is that for Jeff in the NFL? He's
150. I think it's 17 or 18 years.
18 years.
40-year-old center.
Papa Smurf, they call him.
If there's one bad thing about the Jets' victory today, it's this injury to Joe Klecko. Watch his left knee. There you see it rotate out. He's got the knee brace on it. It's the knee that had been bothering him. Kept him out of last week's game. And it was iced down when he got to the sideline. Hope for the best for Joe Klecko.
Well, the early report was that Joe Klecko just aggravated the cartilage injury, that there wasn't any structural damage, any further serious damage. They didn't feel at that time, at least. Mark Gastineau.
Making friends.
He got through the game. He's been having a problem with a continuing muscle strain in his stomach that seems to go out almost every game. It's limited as his quarterback sack, and you see he only has 2 through 10 games. He's had more than anybody in the NFL over the last 4 years.
I don't think it matters to him how many sacks he has, though, because his defense is playing so very, very well. Shut down a very powerful running offense, the best in the NFL today. And look at those numbers. That's the story.
Stay with us for the Budweiser NFL report.